Welcome to Nimmin Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today we are answering your YouTube questions. And when I say we, I mean myself and my brother from the same mother, D. D, what's happening?
How was your week?
Fantastic.
Wasn't
How was your
asking
week?
you, how was your week? I hope you had a wonderful week. I hope you hit those milestones. Hope you're having a good time. Good morning to you on the other side of the world. Now, how was your week?
My week was good.
Yeah?
Just keeping on, having a good time, relaxing, working, enjoying myself. How about you?
That sounds nerdy and boring.
It was.
Yeah, let's get into some YouTube questions here in a little bit.
Absolutely. So if this is your first time here, I do want to let you know that we are answering YouTube questions. So if you have a question about anything it is that you're doing on YouTube, there is a link underneath in the video description right now where you can put your question and we will get it answered on the stream today. If you are watching from somewhere that is not YouTube, you can go to nicknimmin.com/ask and that will send you to the form where we are taking the questions. So what we do with that, and I'm actually putting the nicknimmin.com/ask. Yeah, I'm also putting the link directly in the chat here for anybody that needs it that is on YouTube. But basically, we answer these in the order that they are received. And also, it's important to know that you can ask YouTube questions about anything you're trying to figure out with your channel. You can ask us to look at your thumbnails. You can ask us to look at your titles. You can ask us to just look at your channel page and give us, give our thoughts on our first impression when your page pulls up in terms of is it clear, things like that. So, in order to participate in that, then all you have to do is go to nicknimmin.com/ask and then it'll be obvious what you need to do from there. So with that out of the way, I do want to let you know that we do have a little bit of YouTube news today. So this is coming directly from YouTube's Friday feed, and they say that on the 20th that they have key moments removal. So actually, you know what? Actually, this is actually the wrong one. And it looks like on the 24th, so we already got that too. So really, nothing major to talk about when it comes to YouTube news today.
Okay, well.
So that didn't work.
Yeah. So for the YouTube news, we have no YouTube news of any significance whatsoever.
Yeah.
So what's next?
Yeah, so I do want to let you know that this stream is brought to you by Opus Clip. Opus Clip helps you repurpose your content. You can take one long video or live stream and you can send it to Opus Clip and you'll get back a bunch of clips that you can use across social media. So you can put those clips on TikTok, you can put them on Instagram, you can put them on your YouTube channel to help you stay consistent, anything like that. What a lot of people are doing with it is they're using it to create entirely new accounts to just get their message out there to more people through those different accounts that people might not have interacted with their account otherwise. So you can use it for that, but you can try Opus Clip out at opus.pro so you can just see all the details about it. They also have some really cool things that they're doing as well around Agent Opus, where it makes videos for you based on prompts and images that you upload, voiceovers you upload, things like that. And they also have something called AI Producer. And with AI Producer, you can take your rough cut of your video, upload it there. It'll add graphics to it and all kinds of really cool stuff to help you be able to put together your vertical content in just a faster and more efficient way. You can make changes to it after it gives you whatever it is that it produces out of it. Really cool tool, but you can also check that out. All roads will lead to Rome if you just go to opus.pro and check all of that out. Another thing that I do want to let you know for those of you that are anticipating this is we do have Vid Summit coming up here, September. I'm actually going to pull this up here on screen, but this is happening September 29th through October 1st in Dallas, Texas. If you are not familiar with Vid Summit, what Vid Summit is Vid Summit is a conference for content creators. So it's the place where content creators go, the best content creators on the platform, where they go to share what it is that they know. It's also the place where content creators go to learn from each other, not just, the big creators on the platform, but where, they go to learn from each other and network with other content creators and make content creator friends and just learn how to take their channel to the next level. But that's happening in Dallas, Texas, September 29th through October 1st. And you can find out more about that by going to vidsummit.com. And as you can see right here, so far, stellar lineup in terms of the speakers. So, make sure that you do check out all of this. You're going to learn a ton if you go to Vid Summit, so make sure that you do check that out.
But you want to tell them what's coming a little bit later with that? Yeah,
later we are going to be giving away some Vid Summit tickets as well. We might just do that randomly during the stream. I'm not sure, or we'll do it at the end of the stream. Really don't know what we're going to do today in terms of exactly when we're going to give those away. So let's keep people on their toes.
Yeah.
And make sure you're paying attention.
Yeah.
So, at least have this playing in the background.
That's right.
For for that.
Don't let us catch you slipping on
That's right.
this.
That's right.
You might miss a free ticket to VidSummit, which is like $900.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, the price just went up today. So because of that, you do want to make sure that you get over there, get your ticket reserved, because hotels go quick and stuff like that. So make sure that you do get your ticket reserved for VidSummit so that you can check that out. So really quick, we have Pit and Piston saying, found your channel a week ago on my personal page and using your tips as a channel has doubled subscribers. So thank you so much. Hey, love seeing that. Absolutely love it. And Dee also put on the screen right here where we also have a program that we have for YouTubers. It's a school that we created called Tuber School, where we're helping content creators with all different aspects of being a content creator. So if you need help with what it is that you're doing, you need support as a content creator, make sure that you check that out at tuberschool.com.
And when you say everything, it's
literally everything.
It's literally everything.
Yeah, it really is.
This week, I've helped people dial in the first 30 seconds of their video and try to figure out why people are leaving early. I've helped them learn how to color correct videos.
Yeah.
I've helped them learn how to balance audio. Like, literally everything.
All of it.
A to
all
Z,
the stuff.
A to Z. We have DMs. You have full access to both of us. And yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. You should be a part of it.
Absolutely, it is. So one thing I'm going to try to do here, Dee, and I actually cleared this before I was like, hey, yeah, let me go ahead and start trying to do this. So one thing I think that we're going to do while we're waiting for the stream to get started and get it warmed up and, all that stuff is I think it would actually be good because, every stream we have some people that don't get a chance to get their question answered.
Yeah.
So I think, while we're waiting for new questions to come in, things like that, that we should jump in and, take care of some of the, old questions that were in here so that people, that came in a little bit late, things like that, so that we can get some of those taken care of as well as we get started on the stream.
Zach, how you doing? And he just came in to correct me. The American in me slips through with the A to Z, but in the rest of the world,
Zed.
It's Zed.
Yeah.
A to Z.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I can always count on you.
Yeah.
For the global correction.
Yep.
Old habits are hard to break.
They are. Boy, are they.
So if you're raised in America, you learn feet.
Niche and niche is a hard one.
Niche and niche.
Man, it's so hard to make that transition.
Feet,
yeah.
inches, miles. And then you go everywhere else in the world, and it's kilometers, meters.
It's like, what does football even mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Kilograms.
Right.
Instead of, what is going on?
Yep.
But thank you for that, Zach. I hope you are doing really well, my friend. Good to see you in here.
Squiddly Storm, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Hope that you are ready to learn some stuff about YouTube today as we get cooking here. So the very first question, I'm just going to go ahead and jump into some of these here really quick and just go ahead and answer some of these ones that were here. We've already got some coming in as well for today, but I'm also just going to grab a couple out of last week also, just so we can make sure that, that we get some people covered that maybe didn't get a chance to get in here early and get their questions taken care of or get their questions answered. So the first one here is from Novalox Stereophonic. They wanted channel advice. They upload one time per week or more, but on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do vintage audio equipment repair. The goal of their channel is to quit their job and to be a full-time content creator. Okay, we are clear there. Good. And the question that they have is, close friends and family have mentioned that my thumbnails are getting too clickbaity. They find extra color that I have been adding to my thumbnails a bit too much. What do you guys think? So I'm going to pull this up here, and we have a link to your channel. So let me get this opened up, and we will see what is going on here with this. So, hey, just ask Pam. Hey, thanks for that. And with your channel name, I'm guessing, Pam, that you get a lot of questions coming your way too, right? So when you're answering, with a name like Just Ask Pam, I'm going to guess, you're probably getting a lot of questions there yourself. Scale Train Station, what's going on? Hope that you are doing awesome. Brad, nice to see you in here. Hope that you're doing great. Tan going in the kitchen. Ernie, what's going on? Hope that you're doing great. Chatty Cathy. David Matney, what's up? Hope everybody's doing awesome here as we are, getting rolling, getting started, getting warmed up here with the stream today. So I'm going to pull up this channel right here, and we're going to check them out, and we're going to see what it is that they have going on and see if we can help them out. And basically what they were talking about here is the thumbnails on their videos. They're saying that the, people in their life are saying that they are too much in terms of, they're just being too clickbaity and they're adding colors to them and they think it's a little bit too much. So when it comes to this, one of the things to think about is Adding color to it isn't the problem. Making sure that viewers can understand what the video is about is the real thing that you should be focused on when it comes to your thumbnails. So when it comes to thumbnails on YouTube, the first thing you got to think about is, how am I making it stupidly obvious that this has something to do with what a viewer cares about that I'm trying to reach? So for example, I'm looking at your thumbnail here, and if we, pull this up, it looks like your video here is about screwdrivers. Are you using the right screwdrivers for vintage audio, right? So the language that you put over here is the right tool, right? So, the idea is there. And the downside of this is, first, that you put the emphasis on right instead of the emphasis on tool. Number two is that the tool that you are showing right here is extremely small. So that makes it hard for people to see it at a glance and understand the conversation, essentially, that you're trying to have with them easily at a glance. So because of that, what you want to think about is, you want to think about how you can emphasize the things that are going to help the thumbnail stand out to the people that you're trying to reach. So in your case, if this shows up in suggested videos, this is going to be nearly impossible for anybody to see. If we take this down low, because even on, like on your channel page, even there, it's hard to see that screwdriver. But if we take it down to suggested video size, and they're making them a little bit bigger now, but if we take it down to suggested video size, then you can see here, like, you can't even make that screwdriver out at a glance, right? So because of that, if the whole thing is about, are you using the right screwdriver for what it is that you're doing, instead of putting so much attention on the text and it not really meaning anything, focus more on the thing that you're trying to connect people with, which in this case would be the screwdriver, if you're talking about a tool that they're using for something. Or if the whole channel, since it is about audio repair, have it to where the screwdriver is also large, but then you have some type of audio repair imagery there with that screwdriver as well, instead of leaning on text that isn't really going to land with people immediately. So to be fair, the text definitely stands out. It's nice, big, bold, easy to read. So you are following the rules when it comes to that. So you are doing that right. But when it comes to focusing somebody's eyes on on the things that they care about, instead of, if you are going to use text, what you want to use is, on this one, maybe you'd want to emphasize tool, or this tool for audio repair ? Something like that, and you'd put the emphasis on audio repair if that's the people that you're trying to connect with, right? So the whole idea is about just emphasizing the things that matter the most to the viewer and help them more instantly see that this has something to do with something that they might care about. And in your case, you have the audio repair, the audio equipment here in the background, but you can see, if you look at what's going on, the real emphasis is on the text here, and it's on the blue screen that's happening in the background, or your wallpaper here, instead of it being on the tool and more of this audio equipment that people would recognize. So if you were to, and I don't think that I have it in here right now. Let me see. I do. So with this right here, you know what? I think this only works on the video page. Oh no, it does work here. Fantastic. Let's see if I can move this here. Yeah. So with this, if you were to change the text, it's still pretty close in terms of that crop. But basically, I would try to get it something more like this. And of course, respect the rule of thirds and all that stuff as you're doing this. But basically trying to get it something that's a little bit more like this in terms of the crop. And then if you didn't have this text on here covering up everything, and then you had the screwdriver bigger where you're holding it up closer to the camera more, or really even in this case, if your thumbnail was this size, it would make it bigger just by this crop. But then if this text wasn't here, then you would have all of this audio equipment that people that do audio repairs, that they would be able to recognize as well, which would then make this thumbnail more identifiable to the people that you are trying to reach with this. So I would think about those types of things when it comes to your thumbnails more than if it's being clickbaity, or not. Let's see here. So next up on our list, let me go ahead and take this down. Down instead of taking the screen down. There we go. We are back. Okay, so the next question that we have on our list here, and we're going to start pulling them from the ones that came in today here after this question. But the next one here is from Ace in the Hole. Ace in the Hole does bi-weekly content, been on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do personal finance content. They are trying to reach young adults, parents and parents in their early finance journey. And the question is, my channel's seeing a drastic decline in subs, alarmingly obvious. What typically causes this, and what's a reasonable amount of impressions to assume that it's something on my end? So when it comes to channels losing subscribers, it usually comes down to, one, you're not publishing as much. Two, it can be that you are just being stagnant in terms of what it is that you're offering. So for example, if you're offering just, pretty much the same stuff, and by the same stuff, I don't mean you're niched down into a topic. I mean that everything is really repetitive, and when viewers are interacting with it, they're just not, like it doesn't feel like they're really getting much new. Those types of things can absolutely do it. In addition to that, if the creator changes in some way, then, people that subscribe to them, here when they were like this, because some content creators, they get like, arrogant and all that stuff. So when those types of things happen, then, when people subscribe here and they were more personable, then, when they're over here on this side, then, people can just kind of lose that connection with them. And, that can also cause people to unsubscribe. But looking at your channel, just as a heads up, with the amount of views that you're getting, I wouldn't even worry about that right now. Instead, I would actually worry more, or not worry, but I wouldn't worry about it at all. But I would think about, with what it is that I'm doing here, I wouldn't even really be focused on subscribers yet. Instead, I would be focused on trying to do everything that you can in terms of, learning how to talk about better topics, learning how to, consistently serve a certain type of viewer. And what I mean by that is right here, you have this video about affordable vacation options, all within reach. And then here you have the missing formula in every social security calculator. So right here, there's a disconnect here. Now with this, I'm going to guess that this might have something to do with finances, right? Or in terms of, reasonable cost places. But even with that, I would just get real clear on what it is that you're offering and what you want people to come to you for. So if you're going to be giving financial advice right now, I would be leaning more into this type of content instead of, affordable vacation options. Because if you're doing affordable vacation options, the problem with this right now, and this is where nuance comes in when it comes to, audience targeting and being intentional about who you're trying to reach and trying to make your channel a resource so people will keep coming back, is if you look at this right here on your affordable vacation options, this video might pull in a bunch of the wrong people. Like out of these 40 people, you don't know if any of these people care about actual finance and budgeting and, investments and Social Security, all those things that you're, talking about. You don't know if these people care about any of that stuff at all. Like with this, you could just be getting people that are looking for cheap vacation destinations, right? So because of that, you just have to be mindful about what you're publishing and make sure that every video is clearly for a certain type of viewer. And if you talk about things like this, which is fine, then you need to make sure that you are framing things in a way to where it's going to be relevant to that audience that you're trying to reach, right? Because here, you're talking about, 401ks, you are talking about, is more money making you more broke, how to stop it. And even with some of these, right, making sure that, if you are, having a conversation here about people having more money, and then I'm going to guess this is probably about people spending, more or something like that. Then in that case, you also want to get clear on even those types of details about who it is that you are trying to reach. Because if somebody's watching this because, they make money and they're spending a lot of money, then, that person may or may not care about, some of these other things about, the hidden fees that are, costing you and that kind of stuff. So I would just get really clear on that person that you're trying to reach. And I think your titles need clarity too. Like, how's this possible? Same income, opposite futures. I get the idea, but it requires me to have to think about this, a little bit. So I would also work on just making your titles a little bit more clear on what it is that you're offering. And this is just a side note. And Dee and I were actually talking about this earlier today. But when it comes to the videos that you have here, keep in mind that how you're presenting everything on your YouTube channel, it creates judgment in terms of what people might think that they might get out of the content. And since you are talking about a more serious topic here, like finances, I would also not go with like cartoony looking fonts and things like that. I would try to make them look a little bit more professional / trustworthy. So if somebody sees this on a homepage or something, to where it looks trustworthy, so that when they click on it, or so that it'll encourage them to click on it more, just because it looks like something that is, you know, coming from a professional and trustworthy and all that. Because you might have some really good information here that people need to hear, but just the way that, you know, the packaging is, it is kind of taking away from some of that a little bit. So be mindful of that. And you can still do okay, you know, if you're doing this type of thing, but, you know, those little types of details can also make a big difference when it comes to, you know, just how people are perceiving what it is that you're doing. And when you are, you know, not being mindful of that, then in that case, you could be painting a picture of, you know, what it is that you're offering that isn't in alignment with what it is that you're actually offering, or what it is that you're, you know, actually, you know, trying to do with the channel. And I need to adjust something here really quick. Turn those off and done. Perfect. Okay. So next up on our list here, I'll go ahead and close the stream news. So we have Coding Pulse 24 is the channel. They do daily content. They've been making videos for less than 6 months. They do coding tutorials. The goal of the channel is to make money. And hold on, I see Ron here saying congrats. So I'm guessing that somebody crossed a milestone here. Let me take a look. I see a bunch of congrats here. Hold on, what happened? What happened? Oh, American English with Brent. Congratulations, 95,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel. Congratulations. Love those big milestones, dude. Nice work. Very nice work. Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So here the goal of the channel is to make money. They're trying to reach coders, and it says, hey, could you please check my 2 most recent shorts? I wanted to know if they're eligible for monetization, what I should improve. Your feedback would really help me. So we don't watch videos during the stream, unfortunately, just because of copyright and things like that. I will just pull it up here and just take a look at what it is that you're doing, because I might be able to give you some, you know, tips from the, you know, outside when it comes to this. But let me take a look here at what it is that you are. What it is that you're doing. Yeah, so the first step, and we all have this ability now. So the first step is I would start making actual, you know, custom thumbnails for these, because, you know, this doesn't say anything like, okay, so if this shows up in somebody's feed, right, they're on the phone, they're in the short shelf. If your content shows up in the feed, then it's not a big deal, right? Because the video itself is going to carry all of the weight. However, if your content shows up on home pages, right? Like, let me open up YouTube here. If your content shows up on YouTube's homepage like this, then you want to make sure that your thumbnails make it clear that this has something to do with coding if you're trying to reach coders. So this one where you have Claude in the title, that one does, right? And you have Claude code right here in the middle. This one here, this one doesn't grab attention around anything related to coding. You've got it in the title, but the thumbnail itself, you are putting yourself at a disadvantage when it comes to being able to take advantage of other traffic sources, other pages on YouTube to bring attention to your videos. So because of that, I would make sure that in every one of these, that you go in and you update your thumbnail. So YouTube has the option now where we can make custom thumbnails. So go in here, make adjustments to these, or just make custom thumbnails, and make sure that if you look at this from the outside, like I am right now, that it is crystal clear that these have something to do with coding, right? So if you have, you know, like Claude code in there, you know, things like that, then, you know, those are identifiable things that coders will see and know that this has something to do at a glance about, you know, what it is that they care about. You want to make sure that every single one of your thumbnails have that, because right now you have just for example, and then you have the character that you have here. And with both of these, none of this says anything about coding. Same thing here, same thing here, same thing here, same thing here, right? So because we have that feature now to where we can upload custom thumbnails to YouTube, you want to make sure that you're using that. Everybody here, you want to make sure that you're using that feature right now, because it gives you the opportunity to be able to capture people from other pages of YouTube instead of just the short self.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
Next up, Ace in the Hole. Ace in the Hole does personal finance content. Yeah, you heard me answer your question from last week. I'm not sure if this is going to be the same. Yeah, okay, we already answered that one. So I'm going to move on to the next question here, as we already got you taken care of. And let's see here. Yeah, I'm getting alerts everywhere from about the partner program and the custom shorts. So yeah, so thanks for that reminder. I just got that, in 2 different places. So I appreciate that, Larry. Appreciate that, Chantel, on the custom shorts in the partner program. So next up here, we have Novalock Stereophonic also. I answered that one too. And I think we might have this one. Yep, we've got that one also. So we're going to go back. And we have Pitt and Pistonic. I hope I'm saying that correctly. I apologize if I'm not. They've been making videos for less than 6 months. They have a real life vlog channel. So basically it's a vlog, of their life is what I'm getting from that. The goal of the channel is to have a good time. The question is, I've been told the reason my views are low is because of my editing and video quality. Is this the main issue that you can see? Good question. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let's take a gander and see what you got going on here. So we'll all do this together here. See how this comes out. So first off, just a heads up, you can see that your channel art's getting cropped off here. So I like, these are just little things about how you're, presenting, what it is that you have. So I would definitely, get that fixed up just when you get the chance. This isn't something that you're going to change that and then all of a sudden you're going to start getting views or anything like that. This is just more about, when people land here, you have the important part, which is the, the clarity here on, the real life, real roads, no filter. Still a little cloudy on what it is that you're offering here on the channel. I get the real life part, but the real roads, no filter. Yeah, it's clever, but not super clear. So I would also add that clarity there and just be very specific about what people get. And the reason for that is because you just want to make sure that when somebody does come to your channel page, because they're the most engaged people that really enjoyed your content, and they want to see what it is that you have to offer. So you just want to make sure that when they do land here, that it's clear to them what it is that's going on. Oh, hey, nice. I think I might have went to this. I might have went here, actually. Nice. Okay, so let's see what it is that you have. So you're clearly using AI for your thumbnails, or at least it looks like it. I won't say clearly, but it looks like it. I nearly bought this pub review. Okay, so this is another thing, is you are similar to the other channel that we were looking at, where you are putting a lot of emphasis on text, but you're not really focusing on anything that matters to people, right? So you're putting text on there, and this is where AI, makes, has a lot of issues when it comes to making thumbnails. This is also why I recommend 1 of 10 when it comes to AI thumbnails, because their system is much better at this sort of thing because it's trained up on YouTube instead of it being, just a general graphics maker like ChatGPT is. So because of that, I recommend that you do, check them out. But when it comes to this, what you want to think about is, instead of, I actually went, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. But the Adelaide Brew Pub and Kitchen, or Adelaide Brew Pub and Kitchen, review, because that's what this is, even though you're kind of to it, even though you're saying the same thing in the title, those types of things add more clarity. So really with this, instead of having I actually went on here and then having, this extra tag and then this other, pit and piston thing going on, I would remove all of that. And then I would focus the inside or this background image on if you have anything that's on the inside of this that makes it crystal clear that it's a pub. And then there you could just put, I mean, technically you don't even need text on that if that imagery is strong. But if the imagery is a little bit weak, then in that case, just repeating, the Adelaide Brew Pub and Kitchen review, or, my thoughts on this pub, or, something along those lines. The Cardiff Bay one, this one's good because here it at least stands out to the people that are, that are interested in that. So you have that scenery here, which is good. You might want to reposition that just a little bit. So if they do have more iconic stuff, that stuff stands out a little bit easier, especially when it's at a smaller size. But the fact that the focus of this thumbnail is the Cardiff Bay text, right here, that's a really good way to use text when it comes to YouTube, because you're putting the focus on the location. So then that way, people that are interested in that location, it's going to stand out to those people. Yeah, another thing just to think about as well is what it is that you're offering. So if you are offering travel content where you're just vlogging around and, you know, taking people on your adventures and whatnot, then in that case, like these two are a great fit for those types of viewers. This one, not so much, because this one here is more of like a motivational piece of content. And this is where getting clear on who you're trying to reach is really important, and why we, you know, hammer that so much when it comes to, you know, when it comes to teaching people this stuff. Because like in this case right here, you know, when life gets too much, you know, I come back here, you know, it's almost presented like it's a motivational video of some kind. It does have the I come back here on the title, which does suggest that it is about a place. But from the, you know, at a glance, it looks like it's more of a motivational content, which might get people interacting with this that may or may not care about, you know, some of the other travel related content. So if this whole message is about, you know, struggle and all of that, which it might not be, but if it is, then in that case, you know, that might be a little bit outside of what you're, you know, of nailing a target viewer. But if it's not, and it's just about the place, then I would redo this one so that it's more focused around the place. And also when it comes to place, there's also technical things in terms of, you know, when possible, make sure that, you know, the place, unless there's a lot of people that know about that place, try to anchor that place, you know, to something nearby that more people know about. There's things like that you can do too. But at the end of the day, you just want to make sure that, you know, that you're being clear on all this stuff. But the real question, and I'm just pointing this stuff out because I saw it. Yes, same here, like with this one, right? With the, I needed this. Yeah. So yeah, focus on the places. And the names of the places, that kind of stuff. Not so much on, I needed this. So then it stands out a little bit more to people. Once the channel gets to the point where you have a lot of returning viewers, things like that, to where people are going to recognize you more, and they're going to be like, oh, he published another video, I wonder what this one's about. That's where you can do more of this type of thing. So then, you know, because they're coming in for you, and then you can make it all framed around you. But right now, while you're trying to get started, focus this around, you know, the things that the viewers care about. Because right now it'll be about those. It'll be about the places because they don't know you yet. But let's take a look at your video quality. So that camera angle here is a bit intimidating, just because that was, you know, kind of what you were, you know, asking there. It's not that the video quality is bad per se, but the actual camera angle is a bit intimidating here when it first starts. I would definitely level that up, you know, just a little bit, because you're, you know, it's like, you know, on the table, kind of looking up at you. So it's a little bit awkward when you go in here. But I do see, when I was hovering over this, I do see that you move around a bit. Let's find this here. Yeah, so it looks like you do move around here, which is fine. But, you know, I would definitely get the camera up just a smidge here to make this intro a little bit more comfortable and welcoming to people. Because right now, you know, it's almost like, you know, like when you're watching movies, the way they use camera angles is they will, you know, they'll put, you know, like one person's like looking down on, you know, the other people, and then the weak person is like down here looking up at, you know, that person. So because of that, you want to, you know, position yourself in just a more friendly way, so that as people are coming into the videos, that it just feels more, you know, comfortable and friendly to them, especially if you're vlogging, because this is all going to be around, you know, community and, you know, people getting to know you and all of that stuff. So because of that, just position things in a way to where you're a little bit more welcoming to people as they're coming into the videos. But in terms of the quality, yeah, in terms of the actual quality itself, you know, like all of this looks, you know, okay to me. You have enough light, you know, for people to be able to see what it is that they need. So, you know, for modern YouTube, I think that, you know, the video quality for this is perfectly fine. But I definitely think that you need to work on topics. And you should just, you know, think about that entry point when people are coming into your videos to make sure that it's a comfortable experience for people. Next up.
Next question.
So next up, we got Ray's Garden. So Ray's Garden, they let's see what they got going on here. They upload 1 time per week or more. They've been making videos for 1 year or more. The type of channel is gardening and backyard improvement and educational content. The goal of the channel is to be a full-time content creator. The question is, I've been grinding and unsure where the intersection of keep going versus trying something new. Thoughts on what you think based on what you see. Yeah, let's take a look. Let's take a gander. Let's take a gander. See what you got going on here. And the crossroad, just to make sure that I have this right, keep going versus try something new. Okay. So let's take a look. Okay, so here's what I'm seeing. Land your channel. Don't know what you are offering. So it says intersection of dirt, DIY, and deep thoughts. Okay, so that's right there. You're mixing stuff up. Here, harvesting giant garlic, my biggest garlic win yet. Here, don't build an above ground pool until you watch this. Here, pool install but gardening. Okay, so you have a bridge between these two, which is good. Another one, garlic. So these are both good. Uncycled from an old potato box. So this is all in alignment with garden. Here, more garlic related stuff. So you're good there. More gardening related stuff. That's good. Ugliest part of my garden is now this compost bin. Yeah, so really it looks like you're doing a lot of garden stuff here for a lot of this. And here, focusing on gardening here, gardening. Yeah. So I think you're doing the right thing in terms of, you know, making content for a certain type of viewer. So I think you're doing good there. The thing that you probably need to work on most is how you're putting all this together. So I think this one's actually okay in terms of how, you know, this is framed from the title perspective of don't build an above ground pool until you watch this, you know, complete install. Technically, this framing should be more about just things for people to consider versus I'm going to show you how to install a above ground pool, because this, you know, don't build it until you watch this, you know, suggest that it's going to be more about giving people tips about building it, you know, helping them avoid headaches, things like that, instead of it being like a step-by-step guide on how to do it. So because of that, you probably have people clicking on this. I'm going to guess like your retention on this when people come in probably is a pretty steep drop and stays that way for a while. And then you might catch people, you know, probably somewhere around here. So because of that, I would reframe this one, even though from just a general title perspective, it's okay. I would reframe this so that it's more about, you know, the install of the pool. And then if you wanted to, you know, you could do, you know, how to install an above ground pool. You know, don't do it until you watch this. So then you still get the same idea. It's a little bit long when it comes to the title, but you're still expressing the same idea, but making it more accurate to what it is that you're actually offering when it comes to the video. And then let's see, pool versus Roy Ray's garden. Yeah, another thing too is like when it comes to things like this, right? Like, you know what this is, but when I look at this, I have no idea what I'm looking at here. So when you are using imagery in your thumbnails, you want to make sure that it's clear and focused also. So yeah, so I would work on thumbnails a lot for what it is that you are doing. And I would also just pay close attention to, you know, people's interest in this, right? Because here you like, you're talking about things that people are interested in, but in terms of how you're presenting it, you're not there yet. So for example, if you're trying to reach people that are into, you know, gardening and garlic, then in that case, you know, having garlic real big here, or at least if you're going to put text in here, have the text something about garlic. You know, that would be a better play here instead of you and then stuff in the background that could literally be anything, like as small as it is right now. Like those could be from you know, how I'm seeing it right here on my computer screen, like it could be onions, it could be just stuff, just stuff laying in the yard, you know, things like that. So because of that, when you are talking about something specific, like in your case, you know, gardening garlic, you want to make sure that this is all really easy for people that are into this to know that this is what the content's about. So I'd work on those things. So in terms of the bridge between keeping going and giving up, my thoughts on that are this. So if you don't want to do content anymore, then in that case, probably a good time to give up. If you're just like, you know what, I just don't want to do this anymore, it's not fun for me, I don't enjoy it, then yeah, you should probably stop. However, if it's not working out for you yet, but you enjoy making content, you like sharing what it is that you know, those types of things, and in that case, you should keep going. And the reason for that is because, you know, some of those details that I just pointed out when it comes to this video, those are things that you just haven't learned yet. And because of that, you know, you are at that crossroad to where you're like, okay, should I, keep going, or should I change things up? And I don't think you mentioned that you wanted to quit making content, but if you are, at that crossroad first, I would make sure that you're doing all the right things first. And the funny thing about that is once you are doing all of the right things, then your videos will start to do better. And then those thoughts are gonna leave your mind. So one of the things that I mention a lot in this live stream is that, when it comes to all this stuff, it's a learning curve, just like anything else. Just if I were to show up at your house, because I don't garden, my wife does, but I don't garden. If I were to show up at your house tomorrow and I'm like, okay, let's hit the garden, let's do it, I honestly wouldn't know what to do. I would know the bare basics in terms of like, okay, I know I need to dig out rows, when it comes to planting stuff, and then I need to put it in the dirt, and I need to give them a little bit of space and put water on it. But besides that, I don't know anything about gardening. Because of that,
you have a garden on your property, and you're not out there learning how to garden?
Because it's not important to me. Yeah. So because of that, though, like what you want to do is you want to make sure that that you are just embracing that learning curve, right? Because if you give up or you change directions before you're doing all the right things, then in that case you're kind of cutting off your potential before you really gave yourself a chance. And unfortunately, when it comes to YouTube, I mean, fortunately and unfortunately, when it comes to YouTube, sometimes it takes people a while to get going, and sometimes people quit right before they would have, started cruising. And one thing I want to bring attention to also is somebody's in the chat right now. His name is Neil. He has the Urban Van Life channel. He's a great example of this. So with Neil, he had another channel for a while, and he was publishing videos to that channel, and he would get views, here and there and things like that. And he was doing the thing, but he didn't really start clicking and understanding, everything until he started a completely different channel and started making content on that channel and applying stuff that he had learned on the other channel, and just learning everything that he can about the van life community and adding value there. So in his case, he did change directions, right? In that case, and it worked out for him. But if he would have quit, then that would have been a huge negative impact on his life compared to all of the awesome experiences that have come his way because of his van life content, right? So you can pivot at any time, but just make sure that you are doing all of the right things first. If you love making the content, make sure that you're doing all the right things first before you make that call, is my recommendation. What do you think, D? Eaton.
You have a habit of throwing things to me mid-chew, and I think that you do that on purpose.
I don't.
I think that you do. I'm over here.
No, I'm over here. I'm looking for like a verbal break. They probably want to hear another voice besides mine right now, so I throw it your way.
Now what they get to hear my voice that's chewing. So I apologize that he very rudely handed this off to you. And my follow-up to that is, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
That's the follow-up. Good job.
Hey, thanks. So Life with Ricky is the next question here. They upload when they have time, but on YouTube for a year or more, they do comedy skits. The goal of the channel is to have fun, and the question is, over the past year, I've been uploading 3 shorts a week consistently. My life has gotten busier lately, and in order to continue my channel, I have to go down to 1 short per week. Does this look bad in the algorithm's eyes, and will I be punished for viewership for taking a step backwards instead of forwards? So if you stop publishing the amount of content that you're publishing now, and you have a general view baseline of how many views you typically get from publishing that amount, then in that case, when you publish less, then you're going to see an impact of not getting as many views. So when you log into your stats, it's a really good chance that you're going to start having down arrows showing up and things like that because you're not putting as much new content out there. So because of that, if you do publish on a regular basis and then you stop, publishing at that aggressive consistency that you're currently doing, or that aggressive pattern that you're currently doing, then in that case, you're probably going to see a view drop. Now, with that said, the algorithm doesn't really care. What matters when it comes to your channel is how people respond to what it is that you're doing, but you're going to have less content out there for people to respond to. But if you have, 1 strong video per week, and you stop uploading, all the other days, but you have 1 strong video per week that you put extra effort into, and it basically carries the weight of all of those other videos that you would publish that week, then in that case, you're perfectly fine just publishing 1, and then you'll continue getting the same views or more views if you just put all that effort into that 1 or 2 videos instead of having to, split all of your time up and all of that trying to just get videos out for the sake of getting videos out. But when it comes to YouTube, though, it's all response-based, so everything is dependent on the viewers. But if you're not publishing as much, then YouTube doesn't have as much content to test to bring those viewers your way.
Mods, get that spammer.
Oh, we got a spammer in here.
Yeah, they come in every
String
week.
them up.
They come in every week under a different username.
Oh, what are they spamming?
Something.
Don't say the thing, but what conceptually?
Well, I could say it and just say that I would never use them because they are streaming. So I will say the name of that.
Oh, they say they're streaming?
No, they're advertising a service. So I'm just going to let everybody know.
Hold on, wait.
Don't use the service that's being spammed. That is no way for a legit company to conduct themselves. If somebody's spamming like this in a chat, I would never, ever, ever connect anything I had to them.
Right.
That's a bad.
Man, I'm looking. I don't see it. I'm looking
Yeah.
for it. I don't see it. I'm like, oh
Good.
man, this is going to be good. Like, what is it? What is it? What is it?
Yeah.
So yes, I'm looking here to see what it is. Oh, I see it. Yeah. You
Yeah.
definitely don't want to use that. So they're spamming over on Twitch.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So that's fine. Yeah.
I think it's a good rule of thumb that if somebody has to spam something to
Yeah,
get
their
attention,
service probably sucks.
their service probably
Right,
sucks.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably just have an AI bot just running around
That's
Twitch.
exactly what it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Interesting times we're living in.
Show is.
Yep. Speaking of AI bots,
Shall
I gotta get. I completely forgot. I gotta get my bot cooking here.
Yeah, get that bot cooking.
And did
cook.
it send that into the chat? It did not. So I might have to pop that
And if
out
you have a
redo
question,
it.
if you haven't asked it already, you can see here on the bottom left-hand side, you can go to nicknimmin.com/ask. Or you can just go down to the description, click on the link down there. How we doing on questions?
Man, my thing isn't injecting it into there.
Okay.
I have to update something. Okay. So the next question that we have on our list here is from
You need-
SMA Sky. Go ahead, D.
You need counter bots to fight the bots.
Yeah. Yeah, to where as they come in, they're in there like, battling it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be auto mods, I think is what that would be.
Yeah.
So let's see here. So SMA Sky is the next channel here. They upload when they have time, but on YouTube for 1 year or more. The goal of the channel is, it's astronomy edutainment content. Goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, I'm curious about your thoughts on YouTube's new shows feature for a very niche type of content. I have a large back catalog of live stream replays of my solar telescope. Each replay is several hours long, contains no commentary, just continuous views of the sun. They've already organized into monthly collections. And because sunspots and other solar features change daily, they naturally document the sun's evolution over time. My thought was that it might fit the idea of a show where each replay is the episode and each month is effectively a season. It isn't entertainment in the traditional sense, but it is an ongoing series with consistent format and subject. Do you think shows is intended for this type of educational/observational content, or is it really meant for creator-hosted series with narration and recurring host? More broadly, do you think organizing this type of archival content as a show would help viewers discover and binge it, or would it just add unnecessary structure without providing any real benefit? So when it comes to shows on YouTube, one thing that I would be considering right now, because this is a new feature, so everybody's still learning about it, including us. But when it comes to shows on YouTube, one thing that I would definitely make sure that you're considering is that, is it appropriate for the shows feature, or is it something that you can just have in a regular playlist, right? Because when it comes to the shows feature, those are, the shows are going to be getting, featured in different places on YouTube. And because of that, it needs to be something that would be able to compete with those things that are being featured on YouTube, at least what we know about it so far. So because of that, I personally don't think that that would be a good fit. But if you were to maybe narrate, add some type of intro to it, something like that, to where you introduce it and, you make it feel more showy, then in that case, it might be a better fit for a show instead of just taking what it is that you have and just converting that playlist directly over and then walking away and it's a show, right? So if you make it into a show where you have just a clear, beginning, middle, and end, then in that case, it makes it more show worthy. And especially when it comes to YouTube featuring shows, that's where you're going to really start seeing, people that are putting the effort into the shows compared to, I'm sure a lot of people right now are doing what you're talking about, which is I have this playlist, and since I have this playlist, I'm just going to convert it into a show. But when it comes to them featuring shows, I would just be really mindful about making sure that it does feel like a show when you go into it. And I would add some type of narration to it.
Yeah, what I've been telling people about shows is, because we don't have all the information yet.
Yeah.
But the way it sounds so far is, it sounds to me like they're looking for something more episodic, right? And just think about, if I were to binge watch a series on the Discovery Channel about astrology, what would that look like? right? It probably just wouldn't be somebody playing a video with some music behind it, right?
Right.
There would probably be like some sort of an intro, some sort of a very well-produced graphic that comes in introducing the show. There would be narration. It would probably be well edited to keep people's attention. And there'd be a way to close it down. And there would be a similar formula episode to episode to episode. Just think of how you binge watch on Discovery Channel or Netflix or Amazon, Apple TV. That's how I think they're looking at shows. We could be wrong because we don't know exactly yet, but because they keep talking about like quality and all of this stuff, it makes me think that they're looking for a more produced show. Yeah. So you have the content, but you would have to re-edit it and package it together in a way that would make sense to binge watch it. And it's some sort of so okay, episode 1 is this, episode 2 is this, episode 3 is this, and it's just well edited, well put together. Just like a show on Discovery Channel. But you can do that. That's the cool thing. You can put that together. It will take work, but you could do it.
Yeah. Yeah, and just think about it like this. Like, YouTube right now, they're eating Netflix's lunch. They're going after Spotify, all that stuff. And I think what they're looking for is, like the Stokes twins, for example, they have a show on Netflix now and they're YouTubers. Mark Rober has a show on Netflix now and he's YouTuber and, he's a YouTuber. So I think what they're looking for here is I think they're looking for, that type of stuff when it comes to shows. And I'm sure it doesn't have to be that produced, but in terms of, things that they can use to, better compete when it comes to long form content on YouTube.
I mean, think of it this way. We talk about professionalism and how things should work, while at the same time, one of the most successful shows ever was Jackass.
Right.
The stunt stuff. And they shot that on like VCR cameras and like
it was still high quality though. When it came out, it was still high quality.
It was
still high quality though. The audio's great. Like it was professionally produced.
The audio was there, but it was very amateur at the same time. Right? They took an amateur production and polished it so it met standards.
Yeah.
So I think there's a way to do this, but you just kind of have to think things through. Especially now with the help of AI.
Right.
Like if you have voiceovers, man, you can run it through Adobe Podcast and really get some better sounding audio with the current voiceovers that you have if your microphone isn't that good. You have all of these tools to make great graphics and really kind of tie it together. I would, especially for astrology, I would go to Discovery Channel and I would just watch astrology shows and say, okay, how are they putting this stuff together? And is this something I can put together or my version of this? Yeah. And if the answer is yes, go for it.
Yeah, and with that too, I think that even experimenting to where you take the same thing, but then either you do it yourself or you use an AI voice to just narrate it. I think that's also a win. So basically an intro on it and then a narration to, what's actually happening, when the events happen.
Yeah.
Have little, like little timers until the next event, things like that. Maybe, I'm not sure. But yeah, I think that that's, leveling that up just a little bit would definitely be something I would try there.
Yeah. So the question then becomes,
if you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
What was that?
Because I had a sound effect playing.
Oh.
Yeah, so you don't hear them here. Remember before I was like, hey, when we change the scene over here, we got to put speakers up here so then we can hear everything? Yeah, that's why.
What was the sound effect?
It was a like thing, a call to action to like.
Okay. You interrupted me for a call to action?
No. I hit that when you were finished speaking, and then you started speaking again. So, yeah. Go.
I totally forgot what I was going to say.
All right, next question.
I was probably going to... Oh, I know what I was going to say.
I knew it.
You have to balance this out, too, and say, is the squeeze worth the juice? Or is the juice worth the squeeze?
I'm not sure which one. I think it's the juice worth the squeeze, I think.
Is the juice worth the squeeze?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you put all this work into a show, is it really going to pay off? We don't know. Like, we don't know how... do know is that historically speaking, when there's a new feature, YouTube does have a tendency for a while anyways to give some weight to those new features. But is it going to pay off? I don't know.
Right.
I mean, for already established channels with a huge fan base, it'll absolutely pay off. Yeah. Did you hit another sound effect over there?
No. My hands have been over here.
Why are you're laughing over there?
Because Neil said I feel tension in the class. and then people are talking about how I derailed you for once. Yeah. Oh, that's great. So Ian and Millie is the next question here. They upload 1 time per week or more. The type of channel is they are a Filipino-Belgium couple channel. The goal of the channel is to make money. And they say, what is better, full AI or self-made thumbnails? Great question.
Man.
So when it comes to thumbnails, using AI or making them yourself, it really comes down to how good you are at making thumbnails. A lot of people will dump on AI thumbnails just because they're AI made, but in reality, most content creators, they do not know how to make good thumbnails, and therefore they are putting themselves at a disadvantage because they just don't know how to make good thumbnails. And their videos don't get views, and instead of saying, hey, yeah, I'll just go ahead and have AI make it because it'll make a better thumbnail, they are continuing to make bad choices around the thumbnails and make thumbnails that poorly represent content that is otherwise good. What are your thoughts, T?
I'm in alignment with you. If you don't know how to make a thumbnail, what I would urge you to do before you just run wild with AI is go
Running wild.
running wild, running loose.
Yep.
Before you run loose with AI, I would go study the successful channels in the niche that you're in. And what are they?
You said niche. I love it.
They're a travel channel.
They are a Filipino and Belgian couple channel.
A couple channel.
So that doesn't really tell me anything about the
Yeah.
channel. Like, I'm not sure what they're
Right.
doing.
So surely you've seen other channels doing what it is that you're doing. So I would go find the
Yeah,
most
I'm gonna pull 'em up.
successful ones, and I would look at their thumbnails and the most successful videos and try to get an idea of what they're doing. How many words are they putting in their thumbnails? What type of imagery are they putting in the thumbnails? What are they drawing your focus to, right? What's catching your attention? So then when you go to ChatGPT or Nano Banana or whatever you're using to make your thumbnails, you can be very specific and tell it to focus on this. Only add 4 words or 3 words. But if you just say, make a thumbnail for this, ChatGPT and Nano Banana and the others, they have a tendency sometimes to overmake a thumbnail, making it so cluttered that it's difficult to pay attention to anything. Because you can overmake it. It might be graphically pleasing to look at, but it's not necessarily a good thumbnail. So be very specific with your details when you're prompting AI to make a thumbnail. Let it know the colors that you want to use. Let it know how many words to use. Tell it to be simple. Less is more. Man, what is going on today? Why are you laughing? Did you play another sound effect?
No, I didn't.
I'm over
I
here
didn't.
trying to help you. What did you come in today for?
Hey, nothing.
I came in here to help people succeed on YouTube and build a living and make better thumbnails and just do the things that they want to
love
do.
it.
And you're over here.
I'm just smiling, man. That's all.
You are over here laughing and distracting me.
I am. Yep, I am. A brother can't smile. Is that what you're saying? I'm smiling over here.
I don't know. But anyway, simplicity. And it all comes down to how you prompt.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to shut up because he obviously doesn't want my help today.
Hey, so while we're here, though, while we're here on your channel, I also do want to just bring some things to your attention just really quick. So first off, when it comes to your thumbnails, because your question was about AI thumbnails, and I do think that in some cases here that AI is definitely going to be helpful, like in your case, and it's for little details. Like, let me show you what I mean. So if we look at this thumbnail, right, you can see here how we have the love across continents, right? And you have that curved, so it's difficult to read at a glance, right? So right there is where AI would be, more beneficial because it knows how to make text stand out from the background. And it would know to make it a little bit more readable. Number 2 is you have the yellow text here on the white cloud. And with the yellow text on here on the white, it's just kind of blending in a lot, especially when it gets down, to be a little bit smaller. Third is right here. If we look at this, and I didn't even notice this until I zoomed in, but you can see this click to find out. You don't have to put stuff like that in your thumbnails. Like, people know when it comes to YouTube, I appreciate that you're using a call to action on your thumbnail, but you don't need to do that. Instead, the thumbnail is designed to grab people's attention around things that they find interesting. So, if you wanted to put a focus on how you meant, make you guys bigger here in the thumbnail so they can clearly see, like, I'm just going to tell you right now how this would be a better thumbnail. First, zoom in. So that you guys are cropped more. Let me move this over. Zoom in so that you guys are cropped more like this, right? So then both of you guys are, right here.
I'm going to pause you for 1 second.
Go ahead, Dave.
While you've cropped this in, you are leaning into the fact that you're an international couple. I would choose imagery. I would sit in front of places that clearly represent that. right? If that means, I'm guessing you're in, this is the Philippines, in the Philippines?
Yeah, Philippines and
Belgium?
Belgium. Yep.
In Belgium. So if you're taking pictures, take pictures in front of like iconic places or places that don't look, like, I don't know what that is that you're sitting in front of.
Yep.
It could be the end of a batting cage or something. I have no idea what that is, but just think about the imagery you're trying to portray, right? If you're sitting in, if you're like, hey, we're an international couple, everything about your content and your packaging and the imagery that you choose should immediately be identified as, oh, wow, they're in the Philippines. Oh, wow, they're in Belgium. Wow, they're on a beautiful beach holding hands. Whatever it is, right? Just think every single thing we do, from the text to the imagery to what we talk about, that's what you need to put in there, if that's the angle you're going with.
Yeah. And also here with this, another thing that you could do. So basically, the first thing is zoom in, so it's clear that that you are different. 2, if you wanted to have the how we met over here, that's perfectly fine. But you can put that over here on this side if you wanted to. And then 3, you could have how we met, or you could put a American flag here and a Philippine flag right here. And then by doing that, if you wanted to, depending on how Photoshop savvy you are, technically you could put, an American flag here on your shirt, Philippine flag on her shirt, something fun like that. Or you just put them here and just make it obvious over on this side. So then that way it's just clear, and it wouldn't be like a pro looking thumbnail. It still has that like amateur vlogger, type of look to it, which is fine. People respond to that. But basically just minimize everything. Like Dee said, if you can, get yourself in front of things that are more iconic and helps people identify it. But if you can't do that, then in that case, putting the emphasis on you guys and then just putting like an American flag here, Philippine flag here, that makes the attention grabbing part of this a lot more clear, so that people will at least then go and look at the title that you have, which in this case is The International Couple Proves Long Distance Actually Works, right? And instead of this, because, the way that you're saying this, and it could just be, this is how we made long distance, an international relationship work, right? Would be a much more this.
So it looks like you might be at some tourist destination, but it's just not clear. It's not clear where you're at. There's nothing that speaks to me about, oh, this is, these are 2 people in another country. At a glance, and I know this isn't what it is, but when I first saw those blue things, I thought they were porta potties.
Yep.
And I was like, man, you do not want to put porta potties in your thumbnail.
Yep.
But it's not. Those are not porta potties. But just at a glance, right? This is how your people's brains work. At a glance, I was like, oh, those porta potties?
Yeah. Yeah, there's just too much going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically, the title right here, making that just a little bit more clear, because this, seems like more of what, the package is actually about. So it's, this is how we made our international relationship work. This, where it's just zoomed in on you guys, has the, flags there to help, grab people's attention. That would be a much better package than what it is that you are currently working with.
Yeah. Less is more when it comes to thumbnails.
Yes.
And that includes
when it comes to a lot of things.
When it comes to a lot of things, and that includes the imagery. So, and I don't know how you're making this. I don't know if you're doing it on your thumb or your phone or a computer, but let's say you had people walking around in the background. That's all distracting. So let's say you're in a place. Let's say you're on the beach and you're holding hands or whatever it is. And there's people in the background. There are countless websites and apps on your phone where you can just highlight these things and it will just erase those people. Right? You want focus to go to you. Every single thing that you put in your thumbnail fights for attention.
Yeah.
And that can be a person in the background, a whatever that blue thing was, or a porta potty, whatever it is. So you just need to think about how can we be intentional to draw focus to the right thing. And that's one, and they were asking about AI, and that's where AI can help you. You can tell AI to remove those things.
Yeah.
Remove this, remove that, remove this, remove that, and it'll do that.
So we had some super chats come in. First, Neil says for you to slap me, D. So that's number 1. Thanks, I think, Neil. Yeah, I'm not sure how to respond to that one. Yeah, it's probably a thanks for D, but I don't know about me.
Oh yeah.
And then Tan going in the kitchen, thank you for the super chat as well, says, I came to the realization yesterday that no 9-to-5 job is truly secure. After a check-in with one of my directors, she let me know that enrollment is low, which also made me realize that YouTube is the way to go. Here's the realities of that, at least in my opinion. It doesn't matter if it's a 9-to-5 job. It doesn't matter if it's YouTube. It doesn't matter if it's starting your own business. Everything comes with a risk. So because of that, you just have to figure out what the risk is that you want to take. For some people, being able to have their own hand in what their future looks like, or the potential future looks like if they can make it work out. For a lot of people, that's really important, and those people become entrepreneurs. For people that want the security, they want to make sure that, that they're getting that paycheck every week because of, whatever responsibilities they have. They just don't want to, risk anything. Those people are better, tuned for a 9-to-5 job. Some people are able to make it a hybrid to where they do the 9-to-5 job, and then they also, do things on the side so that they can, add to their bottom line that way. So it really just comes down to how you handle risk and the specific risks that you want to take when it comes to working a 9-to-5 job. In my opinion, when it comes to working a 9-to-5 job versus, depending on yourself for whatever it is. But there's other risks when it comes to being a content creator. Those risks are that, all the things that you probably get at your job in terms of, health insurance, 401k, things like that, like all that's on you now. When it comes to the platform, if you make a mistake because you don't, because you haven't looked into the rules, or they have a new rule or something like that, you just didn't, apply things right, then in that case, you can end up, immediately at zero when your channel gets terminated on YouTube also. So, everything comes with risk. So because of that, I would, I would just think about, just the risk that you're willing to take. What are your thoughts on that, D? You're a risk taker. What are your thoughts on that?
I am a risk taker. Hunter Thompson, buy the ticket, take the ride.
Yep.
I buy into that philosophy. I think that literally everything you do comes with risk. You can't avoid risk if you're trying to do something. If you're trying to do anything meaningful, you can't avoid risk.
Yeah.
Like even if you're going to the gym to try to get in shape, you risk injury. Right? Like everything comes with a risk.
Yep.
So I would say this in terms of leaving a 9-to-5 and trying to focus on YouTube. I would focus everything on your skill set. And that's one of the things that makes me so confident to take the risks that I take with whatever I do, is I'm confident in my skill set. Right. My skill set to do various things that I've spent lots of time learning how to do all sorts of different things has made me confident to where I know that in most endeavors, whatever it is, either I'm going to be successful at it, or I'm going to give it my best, or I'm going to do what I think I should do. And if it fails, I'm just going to brush it off and keep going. And I'm just going to try something else. So failure is part of taking a risk. You are going to fail at some things. And I'll also say that if you've only worked a 9-to-5 and you're trying to go full time into social media or anything else, being an entrepreneur or whatever, you are going to work harder for yourself than you've ever worked at a job. The exception to that is if you're like a manual laborer. I think there's an exception to that, but
you can't turn it off.
You can't turn it off.
Yeah.
You can't.
I mean, maybe some people can, but it's
you can't turn it off. You're going to work harder. You're going to work longer hours. So you need to learn how to have a work-life balance, if there is such a thing when you're an entrepreneur, especially when you're starting out. And you just focus on your skills. I can't stress that enough. Focus on, instead of just saying, I'm going to focus on a YouTube channel, focus on all the skills required to make the YouTube channel. So you're not pigeonholed into a single YouTube channel. Focus on your communication skills, focus on your editing skills, focus on your ability to spot good ideas. That's probably the most important thing, that and communication. Focus on learning how to craft titles and how to engage with the audience. Then it doesn't matter what your YouTube channel is. It doesn't matter what social media platform it is. You have the skills to go to any platform and build something or multiple things that can generate income. So that's my input on that.
Yeah, I agree.
And it all comes with a risk. But the more skills you have, the more it balances out that risk, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm totally, I'll just go for it.
And then we have another one here from Tactical Mindscapes. Go ahead, D. What were you saying?
Oh, no. My thing is just go for it because, why not?
Yeah.
What else are you going to do?
Yeah. Well, I think it also depends on, responsibility levels too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
absolutely. But if you're thinking about it, that's
right.
Like if you have that itch, and that's the thing.
Yep.
If you have the itch and you don't scratch it, that itch doesn't go away. You have to scratch the itch.
Might get suppressed, but it doesn't go away.
Right. Yeah. You have to scratch it. You have to see where it goes. If you're thinking about it, you have to see where it goes. So yeah. Team D. That's right, Neil. It's got to go, man. Like you know what? I have failed. I've succeeded. It's just that's how, yeah. And none of that. There's no amount of failure that will stop me from trying again, because you understand. You don't actually fail. You fail if you don't do it.
No,
that's a failure.
Yeah, you fail when you stop.
Right. If you stop, or if you never try, that's a failure. But if you try it and you fail, you just learned a way that didn't work. That's it. So get after it.
That's our motivational speech.
Yeah, get after
today.
it.
Thanks for coming to our TED Talk. We appreciate it.
You got this.
Yeah. Muir, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing awesome. So let's see here. So we are going to pull up Tactical Mindscapes.
Did you play something over? Did you play a sound effect over that?
No, he just came in
and
mute
me out.
No, he just came in and into the chat. So I just said, hey.
Oh, somebody said, what was that playing in the background?
I'm not sure.
Man, really?
No, I'm not sure.
I'm just gonna mute my mic. Hey guys,
you know what? It could have been. They could have came in.
Have a good stream, everybody.
Yeah, they could be on a delay, maybe. They might have caught like another sound effect or something that came in. Every now and then I'll play whimsical music in the background, so it could have been that.
Was it like a cartoon music playing in the background?
Yeah.
Well, you're just on me today.
Yeah, I know.
What did I do?
I didn't even say that I played it with you.
I
didn't even say that I played it with you.
Listen, before we
just
went live,
assumed that I played it in the background of you.
Make us full screen for a second. This is important.
Oh, okay.
Go full screen. Before we went live, he sprung this on me. He was like, hey, listen, I want to set up this new thing with a phone and do like this. I want to do this wireless recording thing with a phone for short form content and connect a wireless microphone and set it up on top of a camera, So when I'm looking at the camera, this camera, it looks like I'm looking at the phone and all of this stuff. And here's a bunch of stuff. Make it happen. And minutes before we went live, I'm like Inspector Gadgeting all of this stuff.
How that actually happened is we came in and I started putting everything together. And he's like, hey, go sit down over here. Hey, do this. I'm going to put it on this thing over here.
Yep. And then this is how I get treated in return. All right, carry on.
So the thumbnails here, it's going to be one of those streams. It's that black cat. We had a black cat cross the road when we were on our way here. Yeah.
I'm not acting like that though. I'm trying to be super helpful. Listen, thumbs up if you're getting some fun.
See here. Let's go for this
bomb
one.
On this one. Thumbs up.
Derailed.
From the stream.
All right. So on the thumbnails here. So let me pull this up here.
I better mute my mic.
So they said they wanted feedback on the thumbnails. Would love some updated guidance. So let's see here. The worst skill to lack. Leadership delegating to weak leaders will never work in the long run. Why hero leadership? Okay. I thought your channel was a gaming channel. So this does not look like a leadership personal development channel at all. So, here we just have like management debt, maybe this does, but this actually looks like you're just doing gaming content. So I would think that this would bring the attention of more gamers than it would, people that are, leaders here. Like that looks more, that looks more of what I'm looking at compared to games. And I'm guessing that you're talking about these things while you're playing the game. So let me hit this real quick and see. Yeah, so you're talking about these things while you're playing the game, so I understand what you're doing there. But if you are doing, leadership-related stuff, then I would actually try to build these around leadership. I think that you're in an interesting spot here because, you do have people that are responding to these, which is good. But I think that you're in an interesting spot here where it's kind of like a catch-22. So if you optimize everything around the leadership stuff, then in that case, when they click on it and they see a game, they're going to think they're in the wrong place. And then if you optimize everything around this, like, game type of vibe, which is what's currently going on, then it's not clear to the people that are looking for leadership advice. So it's almost like a real catch-22 of what it is that you are offering here. So, over time, I think as people, get used to seeing your content and stuff, like you've got here, 3.6 thousand views on this.
I have a question.
But this one is about crisis management theory in games. So, this one's still more about something conceptual, not necessarily like a leadership thing. What was the question?
It says from that channel, they say, how do I thread that needle? The goal is to teach leadership through gaming analogies.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Any ideas there, D?
How to teach leadership through gaming analogies. I mean, people are responding to some of your videos.
Yeah, like this one here, they've got like 8.6 thousand views on this, but it's framed around the theory in games, just like this
Yeah.
one, right?
Here's
So
what
both of these right here, you have your crisis management theory in games, and then the real management theory in games. So from the outside, you're making it clear on both of these that are performed better. Not this one. This one performed better too. But on both of these, you're making it clear that you are having these conversations about games, right, in games. So maybe adding that type of context in the thumbnails themselves might be something to lean on because it's worked in the past. So if that's worked in the past, then that might be, the first thing to experiment with is trying to see if you can repeat that in terms of just making sure leadership in games, real management theory in games, leadership theory in games, crisis management theory in games, just keep that whole theme going.
would you try explained in games? Explained with games? Or just in games?
Yeah, I think explain just because it's a long word, but I mean, either one of those would be worth the experiment. But what I'm looking at is both of these are working.
Yeah.
Because they add that clarity. So then when somebody clicks on this, they know what they're getting.
Yeah.
And that probably really helps the retention on these compared to if you look at the retention on some of these others.
Yeah.
So I would lean more into that. That would be the way that I would thread the needles. I would just make it more clear here like you're doing in these. Because then that way at least you're creating the right expectation. Because here's the problem with this type of thing is like, if somebody sees the thumbnail, you want it to capture their attention around the things that they care about, right? And if you have it around the crisis management theory in games, real management theory in games, leadership in games, that type of thing, then it's clear from the outside. So then once they, it'll grab their attention, and then when they click on it, then they're already expecting it to be something related to games. So if they see that game footage, then it's a part of the expectation compared to clicking on it expecting some type of leadership advice and then seeing the games, right? So I would definitely try to use the text more in the thumbnails, or actually I would do it in the thumbnails because you need that clarity in the thumbnails. Because I think your titles where you have, survive a crisis by disobeying, succeed where weak managers fail, I think in terms of the, title, I think that's good. But I think that place where the confusion might happen is the thumbnail. So I think by adding that text in there, I think that does add to the clarity. So I would lean more into that and try that more and see if that makes a difference for you.
You have a unique niche. So it's kind of difficult to
cool.
give.
Like
it's cool. It's very unique. It's cool.
Yeah, we've pulled them up before too. I remember this.
And people are responding to some of the things that you're making, so there is an interest there. I would just keep trying to crack that code on why those videos worked, and the others have not. That's a tricky one.
Yeah, and another thing too is you can also leverage the games too. Like, if you're doing all of this, because I'm down here on here, I'll pull this back up real quick. Like I'm down here right now looking at like the leadership, understanding manufactured consent through Helldivers 2. That's another one that people responded to, right? So you have leadership, which is important to people. And then here you've anchored it into a specific game. So then those, you're creating nice bridges there between what it is that you're doing. So I think leaning into more of that type of thing is also something to consider. Like, for everybody here, when it comes to things like this, when you run across things like this that work better than others on the channel, that's where you want to really, analyze what's happening and see if you can, create those repeatable things. So like here, this would be, technically you could make this concept into, like a series of some kind, right? Like understanding manufactured consent through Helldivers 2, understanding, team building through, Fortnite Battle Royale, like those types of things, to where it's basically the formula for the, title would be, the leadership skill, through video game, right? And then, basically you would just repeat that. And then on the ones that are higher up, same exact thing, to where, let's go back up here again, crisis management theory in game, survive a crisis by disobeying, succeed the weak managers fail. I would even attach games to some of these too and see if it, helps at all. But yeah, I would go that route and just try to make it just extra clear on the outside what it is that's actually on offer here. Because like D said, this is cool, and you definitely have some, cool concepts that you're working with here. But I think that if you can add that type of clarity to the outside, then it'll raise everything up, because people are responding to your content, which is the most important thing, right? So you've already broken that qualifier. In terms of, once people get into the videos, they enjoy them. The answer is clearly yes. So because of that, now you have to, spend that time working on the packaging to try to make that as clear as you possibly can, which is what you're currently working on anyway.
Yeah, I would also dig into your analytics and see how people how are they finding you? Are your videos getting shared around on Reddit or Facebook? Is it external traffic? Are they searching for this sort of thing? If so, how are they searching for it?
If you are just joining us, we are talking about everything YouTube. If this is your first time here, we're answering questions, and there's a pinned link down at the bottom of the chat right now to where you can click on that link, go over there, just share some information with us about what it is you're trying to do. It's all free. What it is that you're trying to do on your YouTube channel, things like that. Give us a link to your channel, and then we are answering the questions in the order that they are received. So if you have any questions, you want any feedback on anything, then that's where you get it.
I think you know what time it is?
Hey, really quick, Chantel just mentioned, for those of you that are going to Vid Summit, go ahead and book your accommodations. They've already sold out 2 different hotels. So just as a heads up, if you are going to Vid Summit, that's something important that everybody should know. So if you are going, make sure that you do get your hotels booked up.
Wow, so Tactical Mindscape says they're 80% browse.
Yeah, that's good.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would expect that with this stuff, because they're not necessarily making like search-based titles or anything like that.
Yeah.
So yes, I would expect that.
I think it's time to give away a Vid Summit ticket. A Vid Summit ticket.
I don't know. I think we're gonna make them wait just a little bit longer.
You're gonna wait a little bit longer?
Just a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit longer, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So another thing that we're doing is we are going to be giving away tickets here for Vid Summit. And what Vid Summit is Vid Summit is a conference for content creators where you can, connect with creators that do this professionally. And through this, you can learn from them on stage. You can talk to them in the hallways. You'll probably end up, hanging out, with some of them, and, just being able to, just participate in the conversation around what's going on, right now on YouTube and just social media in general. But when it comes to Vid Summit, this is a place where content creators that, are successful at this, where we all come together, and it's our conference of the year, essentially, where we all, meet up and share what it is that we know with each other. So I invite you to come to this. It happens on September 29th through October 1st in Dallas, Texas. So if you can make it there, then you can get your tickets at vidsummit.com. And we're also going to be giving away 2 tickets during the stream today as well. But I just wanted to let you know that this is happening and that you should definitely check out the information about this at vidsummit.com, especially if you are somebody that is looking at your YouTube channel like a business. You're wanting to take it to the next level, start earning more income, and start really getting the machine turning for you in your favor on your YouTube channel. You definitely need to be at Vid Summit. Okay. And Just Ask Pam says, if I already have a ticket, can I win one to gift? Technically, yeah. Like if you end up being in that winning spot, then yeah, you can gift it. That's fine.
That would be wild if another winner won again.
Right? Would.
I would think you two are conspiring if that happens.
Yeah, I would too.
Good to get the FCC involved. Have a look at this.
So Ridgeline Channel says, how to know if my question on the website is submitted. As long as you filled out the form, then it will be submitted. So there should be a little thank you message that pops up after you submit it. So sometimes on stream, we get through all of them and we have space afterwards where we just hop into the chat. Other times during the stream, we end the stream before we can get to everything. So it just kind of depends on, the questions that are coming in and all of that. But most of the time we get through almost all the questions. Next up, we have Lay Atua First. Been on YouTube for less than 1 year. The channel is testifying the goodness of Jesus Christ. The goal of the channel is to teach others. And the question is, I've been using shorts as my main channel activity for the last 2 or 3 months. I've gotten over 800 subscribers because of it. However, my original plan of action was long form. It seems like people like the shorts. Maybe I shift focus to shorts instead of add long forms weekly. That's what I wanted to do originally. If you are somebody that is making short form content and you're having success there and you are debating on if you want to do long form content or not, the very first thing that you should be thinking about is what you're actually trying to accomplish and what content formats are the best fit in order to help you do that. So for example, if you are perfectly fine with publishing shorts and you're trying to grow your influence around your channel as a shorts content creator, then in that case, just keep doing shorts. If you're wanting to create deeper connections with people, then long form is where that happens. Same thing with live streams, that type of thing. So if you are considering what content to publish, the very first thing you should think of is what is it that I'm ultimately trying to accomplish on this YouTube channel, and which types of content are going to help me get there. And if long form fits into that, make long form. If short form fits into that, make long form. If podcasts fit into that, do a podcast. If live streams fit into that, do a live stream.
Short form, you mean do short form?
Yep. So what did I say?
If it's short form, do long form.
Oh yeah. Thanks. Yeah. So the idea is that when you are making those decisions, you just want to make sure that you're thinking about your goal first, and then think of what you need to publish in order to be able to reach that goal in the most efficient way possible.
Do you know if we are going to get any virtual tickets to give away for people who cannot attend in person?
I'm not sure. I don't think so. It hasn't been mentioned. Yeah, so I think it's in person only.
Okay.
Which I think is solid. It's an event that you should go to if you can go. Yeah. But I think I think it's good. Yeah, these are in person tickets, so they can get the full value out of it. So let's see here. So next up on our list here, we have a girl and her passport. Hey, what's going on, Tiffany? Hope you're doing awesome. She uploads 1 time per week or more. She has travel content. Goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, I recently had a video do well outside of my normal Greece content. How do I make sure the new subscribers appreciate my Greece content? Or is there even a way? Yeah, so that's the problem of publishing things on the channel that are not a good fit for the people that you're actually trying to reach with the channel. So, if you were to diversify or change the channel or pivot the channel into a dedicated like travel channel, and it wasn't just about, Greek travel, then in that case, then it's a good fit. I'm looking at your channel right now just so I can see if, so I can see what's going on. Okay. Yeah. So in your case, it looks like you might be heading in that direction anyway. So here you have, I flew to India for a wedding. So, these people might not necessarily care about what's happening in, Greece. If you're sharing Greece travel tips, the 15 areas at the Mumbai airport, same exact thing. There might be some crossover there with just travelers in general for people going here. So this one I think has a better fit than this one. And then you get back to Greece over here. So the issue is when you do have videos that pop out like this, they just bring in, like this one brought in 19,000 people that might not care about any of this other content. So from the outside, it looks great because it's like, hey, I had this video do better and it feels good and all that stuff, which is awesome. However, when it comes to making sure that you're serving the audience that you're, building over here that are watching these other videos, some of these videos work against you. So because of that, here's what I want you to do next time that you're in a situation like this, where you're talking about a specific airport. If you need to make content, you're making that content so that you can, or if you're talking about the airport so that you can make content, what you want to do is you want to start thinking of, okay, if this is going to be outside of the core people that I'm trying to reach anyway, then in that case, let me at least make something that my core viewers are very likely to respond well to, which in this case, if it's something about, a particular airport, instead of making about that airport, unless it's on a very common path on their way to Greece, and I'm not sure if that is or not, it might be, but if it's not, then in that case, making it something about just airports in general. And then by doing that, you'd still be able to get the content out. It would still be relevant to a segment of your audience because it's, maybe your tips about, things at airports or, whatever. And then that way you are able to still, frame everything towards your core viewers, or, new viewers that would watch the Greek content, compared to making it about something to where if they're watching this Indian video and then the next video that they watch is this one, these people are probably not going to be likely to watch these, where you're giving, Greece travel tips, compared to if you were just having just a regular vlog channel, right? If you had a regular vlog channel where you're just traveling, taking people on, on your adventures, and you're reaching travelers with that, then in that case, these make a lot more sense. But since you are so focused on Greece, then in that case, these are, bringing in people to your channel that are not necessarily a good fit for everything else it is that you're doing.
Next
up.
Who's it going to be?
So we've got
And you're
Phil.
going to make them wait a little bit longer for that ticket.
Yep.
Right? Okay.
We've got Phil, the elder millennial. Phil, what type of channel do you think Phil's got, Dean?
The elder millennial.
I need a
Phil,
sound effect for when you're thinking.
the elder millennial.
Yep.
Man, that's a tough one. Maybe he's just giving life advice.
Okay.
Like, he's just the elder, right? I don't know. Maybe he just runs the block. You know, maybe people come and pay tribute and like give him 20% of their earnings
In his videos?
in the neighborhood. I don't know. Maybe
Those
documents.
things about being like mafia in the neighborhood?
Yeah,
you
maybe
think?
like
Okay.
a neighborhood pimp kind of.
Okay, okay.
Maybe either that or he's just giving advice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see. So
Mafioso neighborhood. Yeah, the boss sitting in like a Game of Thrones chair at the end of the neighborhood, at the end of the block, and they come and pay the tribute.
let's see what they do.
It's that. I'm 93%
You're close.
sure it's that.
You're really close. Personal finance and personal growth. On the finance side, though, you got that, though, I think.
Listen,
Yeah, that's good.
when
That's
I'm-
good. It's a good guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean, that was as close as you're going to get.
Yep. So let's see here. So the question is, why did YouTube browse on my long form seem to drop from thousands to hundreds? All of that comes down to how people are responding to your content. So, you know, sometimes we make great decisions. Sometimes we make bad decisions around our content. Sometimes we knock it out of the park. Sometimes, you know, people are better at consistently, you know, making better videos. Sometimes, you know, not.
Right.
But when you are publishing videos, you know, sometimes you also, I'm not saying you're doing this, but sometimes people will be publishing on this thing that is perfect for a certain type of viewer, and then they, you know, go in a slightly different direction, and then that starts not resonating with those, you know, viewers that are watching the other stuff. But let's see here. So I'm looking at your channel.
Phil said, I like the boss factor.
Yeah, you like that?
We're on the same page,
Yeah.
Phil. I was picking.
I mean, he's collecting money on the block, so I
know.
mean, it fits.
I
yeah.
was really
yeah,
close,
it fits.
man.
You
Yeah,
were.
That's right.
Yeah, that's good.
Paying tribute. Yeah. We're on the same page, man. I'm just a little bit off.
Yeah, so I'm looking at your channel right now. So it looks like you've been publishing for 4 months on your videos, and currently, let me make sure I'm looking at the right channel here. Hold on, let me because the question was that your long form browse views seem to drop from thousands to hundreds. So I don't see. Let me hit popular here. Yeah, I don't see any views with thousands. Maybe you're talking about impressions. Maybe you're talking about impressions, not views. Here, hold on. Let me go look at your shorts. Let me just go to popular. Okay, so we've got some shorts with over 1,000 views here. Okay, so so probably it's going to be just how people are responding to the content. So basically, you don't get rewarded essentially for publishing videos. As it's all about how people respond to what it is that you're doing. So because of that, you have to make sure that you're making videos about topics that people care about. The most amount of people care about for the people that you're trying to reach, especially when you're trying to get the channel started. You want to make sure that you're making content that would be relevant to new viewers, casual viewers, and returning viewers, which means that that's the largest amount of people in your niche that video would be relevant to. You want to make sure that you are focusing on that for every single video that you're publishing right now. And, right here, you're also kind of mixing what it is that you are offering. And I'm just going to show this to you so you can see it, because these types of things matter too, especially when it comes to who YouTube is showing your content to. And people continuing to respond to your content. So right here, you are talking about, Coast financial independence and retiring early, right? So that's what you're talking about here. Here, you're talking about, similar thing, right? Just doing it, with less money. And then here, you are talking about why high income earners still go broke. And then up here, you talk about how people quietly give up. And there's nothing about this right here that says anything about this being finance related, and I'm not sure if it is. But this right here doesn't have anything finance related connected to it. Whereas the people that are watching these videos right here, this video right here isn't going to be as meaningful to those people, right? And then right here, yeah, okay, this one is about money. So you also need to work on the clarity when it comes to your thumbnails being about financial content. So let me turn on my doodad here. So what you want to think about is when you are putting your titles together, if we just completely remove your thumbnails together, I'm sorry, if we completely remove your titles from this page, then you can see here how this video right here doesn't say anything. There's nothing that communicates finances or money in this thumbnail. So even if this shows up, unless they know you and they're familiar with you, even when this shows up directly on your target viewer's homepage, like the exact people that you're trying to reach, this doesn't say anything about finances or money. So this one right here is working against you. Here, because you have it about hustle culture, you have some dollar amounts in here, this one might grab their attention, but I would actually make this right here bigger instead of having this with the dollar amounts on here being smaller, because those types of things will stand out to people that, you know, watch money related content. This doesn't say anything about, you know, finances and money. These do. And you have the things that people will connect to with the Coast Fire and the Lean Fire. So those are okay. And then here, these definitely have the, you know, money values on here. So I think these communicate that better. But what you want to do is when it comes to your thumbnails, you want to look at them without your titles, and you want to ask yourself if, and everybody here should be doing this. You want to ask yourself, if the people that I'm trying to reach with this content, if this shows up on their homepage, what exactly about this thumbnail is going to help them identify that this content's about something that they might care about? You want to ask that question. Write that down. If this shows up on the person's homepage that I'm trying to reach, what exactly about this thumbnail is going to help them identify that this content is about something that they might care about? And you want to make sure that you're asking that with every single thumbnail that you make, so that you can make sure. And this is another one right here. So some of them you're doing great. Save money. Nailed it. Right? Up here, you know, a bunch of money related stuff, you know, some trading stuff going on here in the background, or chart related things in the background. All that's great. This one, stop comparing. Not so much. Right? This one, you can't see what this says behind you. I just see 5ST plan. Not sure what the, I'm going to guess that maybe says 5-step, but that also doesn't say anything about finances, right? So what everybody needs to be doing when it comes to your thumbnails is just thinking, okay, if I'm trying to leverage this as essentially a billboard for this video, then what can I do when it comes to making my thumbnails to ensure that no matter what, if the people that I'm trying to reach with this content, if this shows up on their homepage, if this shows up in a suggested video next to another video that they're watching, what exactly about this is going to help that viewer know that this content has something to do with something that they might care about? Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see here. So next up on the list. But by the way, in terms of your question, in terms of why, you know, the impressions went down, it's those types of things, right? So when people, you know, aren't responding to your content as much because it's not as clear, then not as clear that it's for them, then in that case, what happens is YouTube is showing it to them, but they're just not responding to it. When they don't respond to it, then YouTube, you know, instead of showing your content to those people, they show content to them that is getting those people to respond and getting them to click, getting them to watch the videos for, you know, a period of time, getting them to subscribe, share, like, you know, all of the stuff.
All the things.
All the things. Okay, next up on our list here. Muru Gaming does daily content, been on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do gaming content, goal of the channel is to be a full-time creator. The question is, what's a good amount of shorts to post per day if I'm streaming daily as well, and I've recently been testing posting a short an hour before going live? It seems to help. What would be the limit or a good amount of shorts to post in a day, and how spread out should they be from each other? Could it be one at the start, one halfway, and one towards the end, or should I post them, and how many should I post? So the shorts feed operates differently than your live feed. So because of that, you know, you can post them while you're live, but when it comes to YouTube showing content to people on the homepage, you know, things like that, subscription feed, all that stuff, while you're live, focus it on your live stream. Let YouTube have that as the priority to where they're showing that instead of prioritizing one of your shorts on one of the shorts that you just published. Because the reason for that is when you have new content going out, YouTube's trying to find the people that are going to respond to that content, and you want to make sure that your live stream is that content that they see instead of that. So you can publish after your stream. That's perfectly fine. In terms of the limit for per day, you know, just post what's going to be reasonable, but just think about you know, who is it that I'm trying to reach? When are they online? YouTube shows you some of that in your back end also in terms of when your viewers are online. And you can also do things to where like, hey, I want to build up my audience in, you know, these areas. And those areas are, you know, they speak, you know, the same language that I make my videos in, but maybe, you know, they are, you know, in other places, you know, on the planet. And because of that, I'm going to publish some shorts at that time too, so that I can also reach some of those people and see how those people respond and start building up, you know, that audience in those areas too. But when it comes to, you know, all of that at the end of the day, you know, with the shorts that you're putting out, it does give you more chances. But, you know, if you're just publishing for the sake of publishing the shorts and you're not being intentional about the shorts you're publishing, and you're just putting them out there just I'm not going to say spam YouTube because I don't think that's what you're doing. But if you're just putting them out there just to put out a large amount of shorts, then in that case, I would just make sure that you're being intentional about them so that you can make sure that you're giving yourself the best chance for each short that you publish. But you can absolutely, you know, publish all through the day if you want to. There's no issue with that when it comes to YouTube Shorts, especially with doing like gaming content and stuff. But people still have to be responding, so they have to respond. Oh, you post what you're trading on that day. Okay. Yeah, so in that case, sharing your trades and stuff like that as they're, you know, as they're coming out, you can absolutely do that, or you can just collect them all and then start publishing them, you know, after your stream is finished, you know, like once every couple of hours or something if you wanted to do that.
Next up.
Some random guy. What do you think some random guy does, D?
They're a gamer. Plays random games. Or
Here we go. This is the one I'm looking for. I'm looking for the or.
Or he's that guy they keep catching on CCTV that runs through New York just randomly sucker punching people.
Oh, that random guy.
Yeah.
Might be.
Could be.
But I think that's that random guy and not some random guy. I think it's a different guy.
Different
Yeah,
random
it's
guy?
a different guy, I think.
Could it be that dude who keeps streaking out on the football games? Maybe.
Could be.
Yeah.
Could be.
It could be. I don't know if it's that random guy.
Yep, we're going to
But
find out.
We're about to find out.
So it is food content.
Oh, man. Just
Almost.
so close.
Almost. Maybe he's hitting people, you know, like sucker punching them with a Subway sandwich. Or
Yeah,
a New York pizza.
A
A slice of pizza.
slice of New
Yep.
York pizza.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like there's no niche within sucker punching. Yeah, it's good.
Slap across
Yep.
the face with the pizza.
And you got to carve your own way, right?
That's
You got to make sure that you're like, you know, hey, this is, you know, when they talk about me in the news, people are going to know it's me. So I'm including a slice of pizza with my sucker punches. So the question here
Can
is
you imagine? Just
people competing for that. It's like you got the hamburger, hamburger sucker puncher, the pizza sucker puncher.
Just walking minding your own business and somebody just smacking you right in the face with food. Oh my goodness, that would be awful.
Oh.
That would be awful. That's why you should do
Yep.
it. That's what if you're not doing that, you should do that.
Yep.
Hey Renee, good to see you.
Hey, Renee Ritchie in the house. What's going on, dude? Hope that you are doing fantastic. Nice to see you in here. So the question here. So the question here from some random guy is that they say, does my packaging fulfill the promise the viewer gets? Can you please go over my packaging and see if it's clear enough and that the first 1 to 10 seconds fulfill the promise that the packaging makes to the viewer? So during these streams, we do not look at videos. I can look at the packaging, but we don't look at videos just for copyright reasons. Like I don't know, you know, what music you have playing, you know, things like that. So because of that, we do look at, you know, anything we can see from the outside, but we don't look at the actual video content itself.
Renee asked, first of all, happy belated birthday, Renee.
Yeah,
I
happy
see
birthday.
some
Yep.
Birthday congratulations in there. And Dee says, hey, is Dee big mad about anything? Renee, you're not going to believe how I'm being treated on this stream. I am being treated as if I were...
He's being treated like a drama llama on this stream right now.
I am being treated as if I were the younger brother.
Yep.
He's been disrespecting me the entirety of this stream.
Almost left him at Starbucks.
And I have done nothing but try to support him today. And I feel like I'm being treated very poorly at that. But Renee, I do have a question for you.
We're gonna have to talk to HR.
Yeah, we're gonna talk to HR. We're gonna file.
We're gonna have to call mom.
Yeah. I've already sent a text. I just saw me doing this. I said, Mom,
Yeah, we're gonna have to hop on like a group family call after this.
I told her, I was like, log in and look at the way he's treating me right now. You raised him better than this, Mom. Renee, you did say you were going to get back on this. I don't know if you have an answer yet, but we were talking about when YouTube licensing expires from the creator music.
Wow, memory.
What's going
Look
to
at that.
happen? Dude, I've got callbacks for days.
Okay.
What was going to happen? I know you said you were going to look into it. I don't know if they got back to you yet. If not, perhaps a little nudging.
That's good.
I got people wondering about
Be
that.
out here holding people accountable.
I am.
Yeah, I love it.
Dude, there's some things I never forget. Like today. How you're
Like
treating me.
today. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at your thumbnails. So first off, because you're talking about your packaging, so like I said, I can't go into the actual video content itself. But if I had to fix fillet of fish, I would do this. Okay. So first, I would make these a little bit bigger because it's definitely colorful, so it's gonna capture attention.
I love the simplicity.
I do too, but I would definitely make these. I would make these bigger, and over on this side, instead of the blue, and I mean, I don't know, because it looks like the box here is blue, but I was going to say maybe like a McDonald's red or something would be something I'd use over there, since you already got the yellow in here, if you're being specific. What happened? Hey, he said it gets claimed but not blocked on the music. Hold on, Dee's falling out here. He had to walk away. But what happened? What happened?
I'll tell you later.
Oh, okay.
So it gets claimed.
Yeah, it
So-
says it gets
so
claimed but not blocked.
We need to talk about that for a brief moment. Some random guy, we're going to come back to you. This is kind of a serious situation. So if my
Here, you know what, Renee? He didn't have anything the whole time, but now I think he's got something. All right, go.
What do you mean?
When he just came in and said, "What's your beef today?"
No, I'm not mad. I'm just getting clarity here.
Oh, okay.
Because this is what I suspected was happening. I just want clarity. So if you bought a YouTube creator license or a YouTube music creator license to use music, and you can no longer extend that license for that music that you use in your video, then that video is going to be claimed. So you will lose revenue on those videos where you use YouTube music. That's kind of stinging for some people. But thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah, appreciate
I
that.
suspected that's what was going to happen. Thank you.
Yes,
Now I'm mad.
there we go. Yes, on the thumbnails. Just
I didn't use it. I warned people against it. I told you so.
couple things. First off, you're going to do a before and after. Make sure that the middle line right there is is nice and even there. Like, I think you're just trying to bring more attention to the after, which is perfectly fine. But just for the aesthetic of it, try to make those more centered up. But I love how vibrant everything is. You're definitely doing that part right. The thing I was talking about before in terms of the McDonald's red, this is okay with the blue. But if you did use something else, it would also help the box stand out. But I would make these bigger. Because what you're trying to do is you are, trying to capture people's attention around these food items, obviously, because of the before and after here. Oh, yeah, one more thing with that line. The reason that I mentioned that is because you see the position of the before and the position of the after, how the before is slammed against this line here, and it kind of knocks the balance out of everything that's happening here at the top. So because of that, I would make sure. Yeah, Dee's cracking up over here. You okay?
Read your message.
Okay.
No, read it now.
I'll read it now.
I gotta see your face.
Oh, I can't. My phone's up there recording.
No.
All right.
I gotta bring it over to you.
Oh, no.
Oh, I can't. I gotta bring it over to you.
Oh, man.
I have to get your reaction.
Okay. Now everybody's gonna be like, "What are they saying? Well, what's the thing?"
Forget.
Yeah, this is gonna disrupt this whole thing here. Because when I close it, I have to reconnect it. It's okay. Let's see here. The battery's almost dead anyway, so it's fine. Let's see here. So let me hit this button since we are just completely okay.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
That's my brother, everybody. Oh, it is. Oh, goodness. Yeah, so let's hear. So what I was saying, though, on this, I would, just because this is, kind of knocked out of place here. So I would definitely make sure that you are, centering those things up so they look good. But I would zoom in on this, and I would change the background color so that the box stands out. Because if you're trying to grab attention around this, being a McDonald's burger or McDonald's, fillet of fish, then in that case, I would definitely zoom in here. Another thing, and this isn't necessarily, this isn't something that's going to like blow your channel up or anything, but this is just a minor fine tuning that I also recommend. Is right here, don't build your branding around the some random guy, or not branding, your channel art around the some random guy. The branding's fine, but don't do that here. Instead, let people know what it is that you're offering, especially right now. Because, as you're first making content here, then people are going to be, looking to, come to your channel, seeing what you're about, seeing what it is that you offer. And you want to make sure that that clarity is up here. And also on a mobile device, this is going to be getting cut off about like somewhere around here and around here. So it's going to look weird on a phone. And there's a lot of mobile viewers on YouTube. So because of that, just make sure that you do look at this on a mobile device so you can see how it's displayed. And instead of having some random guy up here, have what it is that you're offering to the viewers in terms of, I don't know if you're doing, if it's food reviews. Hold on. I get tired of overpaying for food that I can make at home for a fraction of the price. Yeah, this also doesn't give any clarity on what it is that you offer. So if you are, my version wins, you stop paying. If it loses, I'll tell you. Yeah, that doesn't make, yeah, okay. So what I would do is I would work on clarity for all of this here so that when somebody does, get engaged in your channel, because the people that are going to hit this page are going to be the people that are the most interested in what you're doing. So because of that, just have something up here that says what it is that you're offering. So if it's food reviews, if it is, making, restaurant, making famous restaurant meals at home, things like that. Whatever that your value proposition is, I would put that up here and then make it also easier to understand what it is that you're offering here as well. The whole play with this is over time, as you're publishing more content, more and more people will come to your channel page, and you just want to make sure that they do have that clarity when they land here so that they don't have to try to figure things out. Because, just the way things are, and I'm sure, you've also been in this scenario, people aren't, into burning energy just to try to figure out what somebody's doing. They'll watch a video and then they'll come here and then they'll just kind of look around at stuff. So the clearer that you can make it for people, then the easier it's going to be for them to know like, oh, okay, this is what they're doing. I really enjoyed it here in this video. So it looks like they have a whole channel about it because that's what they're saying here. So I'm going to subscribe so I can come back and watch more of these videos later, right? That's the whole play that you're going for. But make sure that whatever it is that you're focusing on here is at a big size. And the reason for, oh, you're testing these right now. Okay. So yeah, so make sure that you are focusing those on a large size. And also just as a heads up, I'm not sure how McDonald's is about their, about their mascot here. So also I would make sure that you are looking into the legalities of using Ronald McDonald in your thumbnails. Because I know it looks like you're doing, some type of reaction to this, which is fine. But I would look into that because those types of things can also, thumbnails can get copyright claims just like, just like videos can. So I would just be mindful when it comes to that sort of thing as well. But it looks like, I'm just going to click into one of these because I just want to see what it is that you're going. Oh, man. Yeah, so from the outside, I thought that when I clicked into this that it was going to be like, just big and vibrant and, all that stuff. So I would also, I mean, this is fine, but I would, from a production side, I would just kind of, make sure the lines are straightened up a little bit, zoom out just a little bit so that, so you're not getting cut off up here, those types of things in order to, also try to present it just a little bit better here. But keep in mind, like you're 3 videos in, like what, that all that stuff is normal in terms of, how it's, being presented right now. So people have responded to it already, which is great. So keep going. And I think that, with how you're putting this stuff together, you're probably going to do well. But you definitely need some fine tuning in terms of, just making sure you're focusing on, things right in the thumbnails. And same thing here with I cracked every Chick-fil-A sauce except for one. You do have the Chick-fil-A logo here, but this falls into, this falls into the same category where, if this is smaller, and keep in mind that YouTube is, making these a little bit bigger now in some areas. But, when it gets small, that other thumbnail, you can see it better here. But when it gets small, then you kind of lose some of the, Chick-fil-A logo as well when it's super small like this. Just be mindful of those types of things too. The whole idea is to, like, this one's good because if you look here, you see the Chipotle, but then the real focus of this thumbnail is on the food, right? Homemade, bam, looks delicious. What is this? Stop wasting money and make this instead, right? So the promise here is solid. The imagery is super focused and draws attention to the food, and people have responded accordingly. This one's close. This one looks like a thumbnail that, like a big channel would make. But this one right here, definitely need to zoom into some of this as well. And even here, make sure that you're just, putting some emphasis on things that need emphasis, just so that you can make sure that, it's clear what this stuff is about. But really, I mean, how you're presenting this stuff, you're off to a great start. And especially for your first video, 1.2 thousand views, just as a heads up, most people, when they publish videos on YouTube, they don't hit that, especially in their first video. So you're off to a great start, and it's important that you know that. So keep going. All right. Next up in our list here, we have Ridgeline Channel is the name of this channel here. They do a documentary rebuild channel. Goal of the channel is to have fun. And the question is it a good strategy to reach 1,000 subscribers with shorts first, then switch to long form? AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini still all advised against it. What's your take? So when it comes to everything it is that you're doing on YouTube, and I'm going to answer your question directly right here in a second, but I'm just going to kind of zoom out real quick. So when it comes to YouTube, the first thing that you should be thinking about is like, what is it I'm trying to do on this channel, and what's the best content to help me do that? And I know that getting monetized is one of the things that you're wanting to do on the channel. So so you're good there. But I would definitely make sure that you are publishing the content that you're going to want to build the channel around. So if you're going to want to continue publishing shorts, then in that case, sure, absolutely, go for it, and start publishing them on a regular basis here. But if you're like, hey, I'm just going to publish shorts until I get that 1,000 subscribers, then I'm going to switch over to long form content so I can try to get the 4,000 hours. Then in that case, I think that's not the best approach. If you're going to take that approach, then I would at least do a combination where you're learning how to make long form content while you're also learning how to make shorts that that people are going to subscribe to, so that you're building both up at the same time, instead of building up 1,000 subscribers on one and then doing a complete switch to the other. And the reason for that is because as you are putting all this together, you're building your channel out, and you don't want to waste those opportunities for connecting with people, to where you build up something and they're like, wow, this is good, I like these shorts, and I'm watching them every time they show up in my feed, things like that, and then you just completely abandon those people, right? So because of that, I would build them up together instead of just focusing on one and then turning the other direction and focusing on the other. But when you do them combined, then it does give you the opportunity to also do both at the same time, in terms of getting the 1,000 subscribers plus getting the watch time there. Next up, we got Shady Tales, Tayles. Shady Tales. They upload one time per week or more. They've been making videos for 1 year or more. They do biblical content. The question is, are hashtags and SEO still important to gain more traction to my videos? So when it comes to YouTube, these are definitely things to think about. So let me look at your channel here real quick. So when it comes to SEO, the thing that you want to think about is not necessarily, search optimization per se, as much as how are people going to find my videos. And if you're thinking about how are people going to find my videos, then it's not just SEO. It is making sure that the content that you're making is appropriate for people looking for content, a certain type of content. So for example, if you're doing review videos, things like that, then you have an advantage of people possibly responding to that in YouTube's recommendation system, but also people directly hop into YouTube search and they look for reviews. So because of that, then you have to make sure that you're making content that's appropriate for that. But like in your case, because I'm looking at your channel right now, where you have like a, fight for Jesus, live like your life depends on it, Jesus isn't looking for casual believers, this isn't a video that you could even attempt to search optimize, because this isn't something that, people are probably, in terms of exact match, right? Jesus isn't looking for casual believers. This is more of a recommendation targeted video. So let's see, this will be the last, what the last days will look like. Yeah, same thing, same thing with this one. This thumbnail also needs a complete remake, by the way. It's really, it's way too busy. When 120 people encountered the living presence of God, this is another one, right? Like none of these topically are search-based topics. So when it comes to search, think about it more, because YouTube system is crazy smart now. So because of that, you do want to, like, if you are trying to get your videos to show up in search, or if that's the way that people are going to be finding your videos as one of your traffic sources, because Google also, presents videos, and now the search engines do too, or the all the AI models do too. So because of that, if you are going to do that, then you want to think about, okay, how are people looking for this, so that I can make sure that if it does show up there, that I'm presenting it in the way that people are thinking about it, right? But in terms of, I'm putting these words in my title so YouTube's algorithm knows what my videos are and where to put my videos. Their system is so smart now that, and it's been this way for quite some time, but basically their system is so smart now that it's looking at, everything that's happening in your videos. It's listening to everything. Like, it knows what your video is about when you publish it. So because of that, even if everything isn't perfectly optimized for search, if the system is like, hey, this is something that, that people are looking for, then in that case, they might test it in YouTube search anyway. And then the only thing that you have to do there is just make a video that, if it shows up there, that people respond well to it there in comparison to the other videos that are being presented there. And if so, then YouTube system is going to, keep showing it to people there. So because of that, I wouldn't think about it as much anymore as, I'm just going to put these words in my title, and then, like, that's going to be the thing. I would think about it like, I'm going to build all of this out around how people might be thinking about this, how people are looking for this, so that if it does show up there, I'm at least making those connections there, so that I'm, presenting it in the way that people are thinking about it. So I would think of it more along those lines. And then another thing is, and I'm just going to do this just because I'm just curious to see what shows up. So I'm just going to do hashtag Jesus, and then we're going to click on this. So when it comes to search results, when people click on hashtags, they get search, results pages for hashtags. So because of that, you might show up here, but the thing to think about is, how many people are, clicking on these, and what's the competition look like? So right here, just by putting, Jesus as a hashtag, you're competing with 25 million videos and 1.7 million channels for this. So because of that, it's likely that your video is probably not going to surface here, anyway, unless it's like really, really good. And every time this shows up, every time somebody clicks on this, people, end up scrolling around, finding yours and clicking on it and enjoying that video. So because of that, here's what I recommend. So don't necessarily think about, SEO and hashtags from the perspective of, you're trying to tell YouTube something about your video. I mean, titles matter, all those things matter, but start thinking about it through the lens of, okay, how can I make this so that if YouTube shows it to somebody anywhere on the platform, if it's in their recommendation system, if it's in search, if it's in the subscription feed, wherever it is that my target viewer sees this, how can I make this so that people are going to be like, oh yeah, this is definitely something that I might be interested in, read the title, and then hopefully it's going to be topically compelling enough that they'll click in and go watch it, right? That's the most impactful thing that you can do, over just putting, the right words or keywords or right keywords or keyword phrases into your titles. So start thinking about the people that you're trying to reach and the best ways to connect with them, and how appropriate your content is for different traffic sources, so that you can start, presenting your content in the ways that are the most appropriate for who it is and where it is that you're trying to reach. And really quick, we have some other things I want to mention here. Also, just kind of put on the screen here for you guys. Also, let me scroll up here for these. So Renee mentions here, he says, hot take, all hashtags do is put you on the pivot page for that hashtag and include you in the search results for it. So if you're using random hashtags, they don't mean anything. Yeah, and addition to that, and this might be what he means when he says a pivot page, is that when you are putting those, in your video, it's also something that's a leak, right? So like if somebody's watching your video and, you have those 3 hashtags going along the bottom, then, they might be 10 seconds into your video and one of those hashtags are compelling to them. So they click on that hashtag and then they're out of your video, right? So then in that case, then those hashtags can also be a leak to where you can bleed viewers into people clicking on those hashtags, going to, see something else. And that might have been your chance to connect with that person, but instead they're clicking on the hashtags. And then he also mentioned here that they're meaningful when there are things like big events, cultural moments, something that's beyond the scope of your channel. If you're bigger than the hashtag, keep the attention for yourself. Yep, love it. Always sharing a great perspective. Thank you. But yeah, like the thing when it comes to YouTube is you really just got to think about it through the lens of like, you know, the people that I'm trying to reach, they're going to be here on the platform. So because of that, I need to make sure that I'm making content in the formats that they, you know, are using, which is YouTube Shorts, you know, long form content, depending on your viewers, you know, possibly live streams. So I'm doing those things. And then from there, I just got to focus on making my content recognizable and compelling and coming up with really good ideas, because there's a gazillion videos on YouTube, and I need to make sure that I can compete from an idea perspective and being able to capture people's attention and provide them a good experience with my content so that YouTube will keep showing my videos to people. Okay, let's see here. So next up on our list, it's funny, D walked away and left the camera on the wide shot. Oh, love it. Did you hear that, D? Yeah. So Shady Tales is our next channel here. Oh, no, I think we did this one already. Yeah, we did that one already. So next up, we have Unboxing Two Boys and Their Pops. They upload one time per week or more. The type of channel is unboxing collectibles and horror videos. The goal of the channel is connect with others who like what they like. And the question is, so I've been stuck in the mid 3,000 area and trying to push to 4,000, but it seems to be stuck in trying to gather some momentum and appreciate some advice. Okay, so your channel's stuck right now and you are trying to see the light. Let's see what it is that you got going on.
If you're enjoying the show, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend right now.
Okay, first, I wouldn't do this yet. So right here, you have sacrificed an opportunity to connect with the people, you know, to connect with like new viewers and, you know, regular viewers. And there's not a lot of context here in terms of what's actually happening. So I guess community mail, so maybe you're opening a mail, I'm not sure. But give people content. You know, if you want to do something like this later, that's fine. But right now, I wouldn't be doing things like this. You did have 74 people click on this, which is, you know, good because you had, you know, 37 click on this one. But I wouldn't do stuff like this right now on the channel. Focus it on like real content that's going to add value to them. Another thing is, are you doing cartoons? Is that what your content is? Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's not. Okay. So here's what you got to do. Don't use these types of thumbnails. It looks like you're making kids content. I thought I was going to click on this and get an animated video. This is probably destroying your retention on these videos because you have these videos here where it looks like this is like a kids animated show of some kind. And I bet you that when people click on these, your retention on these is probably just a straight drop, you know, probably very low. I could be wrong. But that's what I'm anticipating is probably happening on this. So because of that, I would definitely make real thumbnails with real people in them because you are on camera as a real person and you want to be presenting your content in that way. 2, Thrill Joy Sunday, will the chase train keep rolling? Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. So you know what this means, right? Because you're putting it all together. So in your mind, you're like, hey, we got this theme going, I'm guessing, which is what this is for. And, you know, because of that, we have this like Thrill Joy Sunday and, you know, all that, and you're putting this together. But for a new viewer, somebody that's not, you know, that doesn't know that, and they didn't help put this thumbnail and title package together, this doesn't mean anything to a new viewer. So the very first thing that you need to do is you need to reevaluate how you're packaging all of these things up. Because right now you're doing yourself a huge disservice when it comes to how you are presenting this stuff. And it looks like you're doing the same thing here, you know, with the cartoon thumbnails. Here, happy birthday, Mama J. Yeah, also, you know, the general public, okay. So YouTube has billions of users that you have the opportunity to connect with. Not all, you know, not all of them, but, you know, a segment of them. Right now, you are presenting all of this in a way to where people need to know and have some context in order for any of this to be meaningful. So what you need to work on right now is your thumbnails and just general clarity when it comes to what it is that's being offered here. because right now you're completely missing that side of things. In this too, right? Birthday unboxing. I just got to click on this and see, is this also a real person? Yeah. So if people have responded to your content enough that you've got a little over 3,000 subscribers, and you're trying to get to that next spot, you completely need to overhaul how you are presenting what it is that you're doing. And that starts with the idea, and then moves into the thumbnails, and then of course the titles. Don't pollute your titles with all these hashtags. None of that is helping you in any way when it comes to your titles. So don't pollute your titles with these hashtags. Start using real people in the thumbnails. None of this cartoon imagery here that looks like it might be like a kids content. And make sure that all the videos that you're publishing to the channel, just so you don't blow the opportunity when YouTube is showing the content to the right viewer, make sure that all the content in the channel is relevant to a certain type of viewer, and that new people can have an idea of what's going on when the stuff is being presented to them.
Renee says you can't SEO a mid video into a banger.
Yep.
Spend 98% of your time on the video and packaging and 2% on the metadata.
Yep. Good metadata and fix a bad video.
Nothing saves a bad video.
Yep. Yeah. True. Hey, will you carry this for a second?
Yep, sure will. I'm going to carry this, and we're going to make fun of Nick for a while. Yeah. So if you have some questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. We can talk about Nick, or we can talk about YouTube. It's entirely up to you. I stepped away now. He's stepped away, so I haven't been looking at the chat for a while. So I'm going to scroll backwards here and see if there's any questions. If you do have a question, just go ahead and ask it now. I know there's a little bit of a delay. That's right, Shark Scrapper. The only hashtag that matters is Niminati. That's right. Are you putting it back up? Mm-hmm. The battery charge?
Yeah, I've only got 10% left.
Okay.
But, I might be able to get a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I walked away and accidentally left it on the wide shot. That's funny. Oops. That was not intentional. Always upload for the new. Oh, you're screen sharing the whole time. Okay, right on. Yeah, a lot of channels when they're using AI to make their thumbnails, which it looks like you're doing, when they're cartooning themselves, you automatically get that idea that it's going to be some sort of an animation. And I see so many channels doing that. They're making cartoon versions of themselves, and I think it's cute. Like it in certain situations, there might be something to it, but it sets the expectation, like Nick was talking about, in terms of like when I see a cartoon, or in sort of an illustration, and that's not what I'm going to get on the video. I mean, I would be happy if it was a real person. Oh, it was a cartoon, then I click on it, it's a real person. But I might not click because I might think it's an animation. And keep in mind, people are making split-second decisions on what they're going to click on and what they're going to scroll past. Clement Watkins says, love to know Renee on the site. Thanks to the whole team. You guys rock. And we have some Vid Summit tickets that we're going to give away here in a little bit. As soon as Nick comes back, I think are we going to give some of those away soon? Mm-hmm. Would you say? Yep.
I'm not back yet.
That's right. Tango in the Kitchen says, tags in video. Do you use tags that YouTube recommends when uploading the video, or specific tags? Tags are not something today that are going to really move the needle on your video. Think of tags more as just something for helping YouTube categorize your video. If there's different ways to spell something, or if there's misspellings, or if you just want to add a little bit more context. But I really wouldn't worry too much about tags in 2026. I know at one time they were useful, but not the case anymore. But if there are misspellings, different ways to say things, different orders of words that people might use in your niche for that particular type of content that you're making, that's what type of tag do you want to put in the video. Tish says, are tags with commonly misspelled words still a thing? I don't know, but my thought on tags has always been, like, and Renee is in here, he can even tell you that YouTube tags are not that important now. My view is, as long as YouTube still has them, I'm going to use them. I feel like if they didn't have any purpose, they would remove them. That's my thought on that. I don't, and keep in mind, like we talked earlier, tags are not going to fix anything. If you
I don't use tags anymore.
and probably,
So the only reason that I'll use tags is muscle memory, because
Yeah.
I published so many videos that my brain, as I'm going through and I'm
Yes.
filling everything out, I'm like, checkbox, tags. Okay, these tags are relevant, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I'll just do it just out of muscle memory. But if I think about it, then I don't even put them in the video.
Right.
Like this video right here doesn't, or this stream doesn't have tags in it right now.
YouTube is making its own tags internally when we're uploading our videos. It's looking at every single frame of your videos, identifying what you're saying. It's reading all the transcripts. It's looking at what you have in the background. It's making its own tags to determine what your video is about internally. So use tags if you want to. Don't use them if you don't want to. Add things that makes you feel better. I use them out of habit, and I will continue to use them out of habit until YouTube turns it off.
Yep.
And it's just that, like, even if Renee says right now, tags have zero purpose,
Right.
I would, and as much as I believe Renee, because he works for YouTube, I would still use them until YouTube
Removes the box.
Removes the box.
Yeah, I used to, but just for me, it's just more muscle memory. If I think about
Yeah.
it, then I don't put them in there anymore.
Yeah.
And Jerry says, can we establish if incorrectly spelled tags was ever a game changer for a video? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
I
that's
don't think
also
it was ever a game changer.
right. Yeah, I think
It was-
that's also the elephant in the room when it comes to that. So it's like originally, the whole idea was also following, just Google's lead on that in terms of, adding keywords and, things like that. That was really what it was for, back in the day. But yeah, like now it just doesn't matter anymore.
I like to look at things, especially if you have a new channel and YouTube's trying to figure out what's going on. I like to think of all of these features as you're giving YouTube as much information as you can about your video, about the context, and it's making its own internal decisions as well based on the content. Yeah, I'm going to keep using them out of habit until they remove it, and I wish they would remove it.
Yeah, they should actually.
They should.
Yeah, Renee, that should be another campaign. So like after the mobile tagging comes through, after that one, yeah, you should go on a campaign to try to get them to remove that entirely. And then that way, like it's clear, right? And then because there's still people that make videos that are like, yeah, you got to make sure that you're doing this when it comes to tags and stuff like that. So
still giving bad information.
Yeah.
Make sure your tags are right, and it's like no.
Yep.
And in fact, you'll look at. Renee says it can be really hard to get that kind of stuff removed in terms of prioritization and resources. Yeah. Well, but obviously, you're a creator yourself, but I think a lot of newer creators and people who haven't been around a long time still get caught up in that because there's so many channels out there still telling people to use them. Mm-hmm. And if you get lured into one of those channels that give them outdated information, yeah, it's bad.
Okay, so let's see here. Hold on, I'm looking for something really quick. So keep going, D. I'm just taking a gander here.
Yeah.
Really quick.
But you'll also see, like a good video is a good video.
Yeah.
You can't.
Yeah, you can't hold down a good video.
Right.
And you can't give a bad video legs.
Yeah, right. You'll see some of the most successful videos on the platforms, and sometimes even by newer channels that don't have much authority. Sometimes they don't even put no descriptions, no tags, titles that don't even make sense. You're like, wait a minute, that title shouldn't make sense. Mm-hmm. It's because the video is awesome and people are responding to it and they're watching it and they're sharing it and they're engaging with it. They're doing all the things for the video itself. It all comes down to the video. Mm-hmm. You make videos that people engage with and they want to watch, and they watch a lot of that video, or you don't.
Okay,
Renee
guys.
says, I'll tell you the story at Vid Summit. Renee, the story of tags on YouTube should be a campfire session at Vid Summit. It should be you and a bunch of creators up on the stage with microphones, just having this conversation with people of YouTube and just creators who are just have their foot on YouTube's neck to remove this feature and just tell the story in front of everybody.
Speaking of Vid Summit,
Is it time?
Let me tell you about Vid Summit really quick. So that conference that Renee just mentioned, this is Vid Summit right here. So what Vid Summit is it's a conference for content creators where we go every year to, network with other content creators to learn from each other. And this conference is a game changer for a lot of people, either through the networking that they do or the information that they get from, the stages and from the conversations that they have in the hallways. So every single year, before the conference even starts, because I usually get there a day early, people are like, hey, yeah, I've already got my value out of this and it hasn't even started yet, just from the conversations that are happening, in the hotel lobbies and stuff like that from the night before. So when it comes to Vid Summit, this is the place to go to if you're a content creator and you're taking all of this seriously and you're trying to turn your YouTube channel into a business of some kind. You need to be at Vid Summit. This is happening in Dallas, Texas, September 29th through October 1st. And if you are serious about YouTube and turning this into, something other than, just a hobby, something that's a real business for you, then you need to be at Vid Summit. But you can find out more about this at vidsummit.com. And right now we are actually going to give away some tickets to Vid Summit. So if you are interested in winning tickets, if you don't win, by the way, I do also recommend that you do go ahead and get over there and get a ticket and get your hotel booked and everything, because the hotels are selling out and all that. So you want to make sure that you do get a hotel booked before they sell out in the area, because this is a very popular conference and it gets more popular every single year because everybody gets so much value out of it. So because of that, even if you don't win tickets, go buy tickets and then go book your hotel because they are selling out when it comes to the hotels. But in order for the ones that we're giving away today,
wow, dude, that's the word I was thinking about using.
Vid Summit 26.
Yeah.
The first one here is Vid Summit
instead of
26.
2026. I was like,
nice.
Vid Summit 26.
Nice. Yeah, Vid Summit 26. So all you have to do first, in order to participate in this, I do also ask that you only put this into the chat if you can physically go there, because you are responsible for your travel. You are responsible for your hotel rooms. This is for the ticket to the conference. So please only put your, only put this into the chat right now if you can physically make it there, because this is a huge opportunity. When we do these giveaways, this is a huge opportunity for people. And we just want to make sure that the people that are winning the tickets can physically go there. So during the last few streams, we've done this, and we had one person already that won, but then they later came back and said that they couldn't go. So I appreciate you being upfront quickly about that, so that we could pass that off to somebody else, which we did last week. But for anybody that is putting their name in the hat, so to speak here, just put Vid Summit 26, and please only do so if you can physically make it to Dallas, Texas, September 29th. And D, I'm going to let you call it in terms of when we hit the publish button here.
Okay.
So you just let me know.
Wait, you mean I get to stop it?
Yeah, you just get to tell me when to hit the pick a winner button. So it's totally up to you on this.
So just so I understand, it's not going to stop by itself. I say stop,
and then I hit the button.
Oh.
No. I mean, in order to pick a winner. So basically, people are putting it in the chat right now. So all you're doing is just tell me when to draw.
Oh.
So you don't say stop and then it automatically stops. It doesn't work like that.
Because I was going to look for a specific name.
And then be like, stop. Yeah.
I was going to get Valentine Station to Vid Summit if that was the case. But you're telling me when to start.
Yes.
So I get to sit here and determine when we're going to roll it.
Yes.
When we're going to skin the smoke wagon.
That's right.
Okay.
You absolutely do.
Okay.
Yep. So right now we're up to 27, D. So you can just tell me to hit that anytime you want.
Once we're up to 62, we're going to let her rip. So get in there, type in Vid Summit 26.
How many did you say?
I think people don't want to go. I mean, there's not very many people who are typing this in.
Yeah, and right now you can only type it in once too, by the way. So once you type it in there, then it only collects each person one time, just so you know.
I don't know if that's true.
Okay, so let's see here.
I wouldn't trust that.
So you want to go ahead and pull it?
No, I didn't.
So we can get back on to the reviews?
Nope, not yet. I want to build a little bit of anticipation.
Okay.
And if we can't, we'll roll it at 30.
Okay, so we need 2 more.
We need 2 more. We need 2 more people to put in Vid Summit 2026. We have 2 more. Do we have 2 more? We got 2 more people. Do we got one more person? We get one more person in here for Vid Summit 2026.
Be the auctioneer. I love it.
Do we have one person? Do we have one person? You have one person. Vid Summit 2026. Do we have one person? Vid Summit 26. Do we have one person here? We don't have 30.
Boom, 30. Let's go. And drum roll. Here we go. I love this because this can be such a game changer for whoever wins this right now. Baker Everything Gaming. So you just won a ticket to Vid Summit. So congratulations to you. Do I have a clap in here? I need to add a clap. I don't think I have a clap. How do I not have a clap in here? I've got my clap song, but I don't have like an actual clap in here that I can trigger. I can do that.
We need a golf clap.
We do. So congratulations to you, Baker Everything Gaming. So what I need you to do is I need you to send me a DM on X. And send me a DM that has your email in it, and then your name and your email, and then from there, I can take it from there.
All right.
Love it.
Awesome.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Baker Everything Gaming. Looking forward to seeing you there. Absolutely love it. And I'm looking for them in the chat here just to see where they are at, because I just want to look at their channel. We're going to pull their channel up, too.
Did they run away?
No, I'm just looking to where I can find them. Boom, there they are. Yeah, Baker Everything's Gaming. Like, hey, I'm just going to put this in the chat, but it's probably not going to be me. And then, bam, look at that. You're going to Vid Summit.
There you go.
Okay, nice. Here we go. Baker Everything Gaming.
That's how it works.
Nice. Yep. Yeah. So send me a DM on X, and then we will get you all sorted. And again, just confirm that you can make it to Dallas, Texas, September 29th through October 1st. Because again, you are responsible for your hotel and your travel, so just make sure that you can make that. And if you can't, then if you can let us know, ASAP, then that would be helpful. But I'm sure you can. So just shoot me that DM on X, and then we'll get you taken care of. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, so we're gonna do another one here in just a minute, but before we do, we're gonna answer a few more questions here that we had submitted today. So the next question that we have here on the list is from Colin Games. Colin Games uploads 1 time per week or more. They've been on YouTube for 1 year or more. They do gaming tips, tricks, and how-to content. And the goal of the channel is to have fun. The question is, I'd like to know if my playlists are fine for different games and are the thumbnails average? So let's see what you got going on here.
Are the thumbnails average?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to rank something like that.
Yeah.
A lot of variables.
Yeah, so Moru Gaming, yeah, these are tickets that go directly to you when it comes to these. Okay, so let's take a look. So you wanted us to look at your playlist.
Playlists and thumbnails.
Okay, give me 1 second here.
Pulling them up. Congratulations. There they are. The other Andy Hall says I'm going anyway, G.
Yep. Hey, Andy.
Yeah. Good to know the other Andy Hall is in here.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so right here, there's a few things. So what you're doing is you are using your playlist as categories. You're not using these as anything informational. So this is okay, but if you want to level this up, you need to add some context to these. So for example, Fortnite. What about Fortnite? Because you asked specifically about your playlist. This is why I'm looking at these. So, okay, so let's look at Fortnite, right? I play Fortnite. This playlist lets me know that you have Fortnite in here, but I don't know what you're offering. Are you doing Fortnite tips? Are you doing Fortnite gameplay? Are you doing Fortnite challenges? Like, what is it that you're actually offering here? Are you showing people how to build, like, worlds in Fortnite? Like, what are you doing? So you are, if you wanted to level these up, then instead of just using these as categories that you just drop videos into, you will intentionally make playlists for different purposes. So this one would be, if let's say it's Fortnite tips, then in that case it would be, Fortnite tips, right? And then that way it just adds a little bit more clarity to, for the viewer for what these are. And then when it comes to playlists also, just remember, for everybody here, that you can make playlists for different purposes. So just because, you put a video in this playlist doesn't mean that you can't use playlists in other things either. So for example, at the end of your videos, if you are sending people into another video, you can level that up by sending people into a playlist. And then that gives you more screen real estate on YouTube if somebody's watching on a TV, on a phone, or on a computer. So by doing that, that gives you more opportunity to where instead of YouTube, showing everybody else's stuff right next to your videos, if you have enough videos in the playlist, you can fill up some of that space there right next to the player on a computer. It's under it, on a TV. So basically, it just gives you that option to where, your content is there to where you can, just give more visibility to your own stuff. So you can do that around, playlists that are just relevant to the video that you made. So for example, here you have Roadcraft new map, survival, stuck in mud, can we escape? So I guess this is more of a challenge video. So in that case, if somebody makes it to the end of this video, you can link to, like your 3 best Roadcraft challenge videos if you have more of these videos. And then by doing that, you are sending them into a playlist that's relevant to them. But I just realized that this video is 52 minutes long, so maybe it's 2 videos. But basically, you're just making it to where people can go and just easily, see the other, the other videos that you have around this particular, this particular game. So yeah, so just when you're using them, you can use playlists in a lot of different ways. You can also put them here in your posts to where, you're publishing all of your regular posts like this, but you can also add playlist here of like, hey, if you're new to the channel, these videos here are, videos that, a lot of other people have really enjoyed. So if you haven't checked them out yet, here's the link. And then by doing that, you can send people into playlists that way too. But the whole idea is that you can use them in other ways than just putting them here. And of course, when it comes to your homepage, you can also, you've got it here where you are listing, you're listing them out here, but you can also, because you do cover a bunch of different games, instead of having, this here, which is a cool thing to do. But, this is also something where people, you could have an area here that is more focused on content that your viewers are going to enjoy, instead of sending people, over to here. But you might have something worked out with them. I don't know, where everybody's, just kind of putting each other's channels on their stuff. I'm not sure what you're, what's going on here. If that's the case, then, that's your call. But when it comes to using your channel page appropriately, or in the best way, I should say, what you want to do is you want to take the different games that you're playing, especially the ones that are bringing in the most viewership right now, and you want to just organize them here onto your channel page so that if somebody goes to your channel page, that they can also more easily find more of the content that they care about from you on those specific games that they're interested in. So that's the way that you want to think about playlists on YouTube.
They also want you to look at the thumbnails, see if they were average.
Okay, let me go back over here. I think this Roadcraft thumbnail is great. I really like this. The only thing I would do is I would zoom in a little bit more on the truck, but in terms of the scenery and stuff, I don't know, the truck's about game size, but I would make this bigger. So here, I would make the Roadcraft cover almost this entire area up here, and then I would move all of this down a little bit and then make the truck bigger. And then by doing that, if this shows up in a smaller view anywhere, right? So if it shows up smaller anywhere, then it's crystal clear because that Roadcraft is going to be much bigger. Even if these are a little bit bigger here, let's say for suggested now, then in that case, that Roadcraft would really stand out up here. And then if the truck is bigger, also in this environment, you'd have to, bring the whole thing down a little bit, but basically zooming in to that area as well. So it just makes everything more clear for people that are into, into this game. So with this particular thumbnail, I think it's good, but you could definitely zoom in on all of these things. So for example, I'm just going to take it up here. And if we didn't have you in it over here on the side, because you'll probably get cropped out when I do this, we're going to see. But basically, if your thumbnail was more like this when it comes to the Roadcraft, right? So it'd be something like that at the top. And then for this vehicle here, just move this up in the background. So then the vehicle itself would be more like this.
Yes.
And then by doing that, then you have a bigger focus, maybe zoom it out just a smidge. And then by doing this, you would have the bigger focus on that in the scenery. And then you would also have the big Roadcraft, logo right up here in the very top. And then if you wanted to put yourself over here in the corner like you currently have, that's fine.
For gaming, I don't
big
even think
focus
that's necessary though.
Yeah.
Like for this, I think your screen imagery is pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah, I would definitely just start zooming in more on some of this stuff so that people can see it, a little bit easier, and just so it grabs attention faster, right? Because like if you look at, YouTube's homepage and you actually embed this into YouTube's homepage, I actually have a Chrome extension. It's called Creator Dashboard. You can find it in the Chrome store.
He's holding a snake.
Oh, but you can find Creator Dashboard. You can go to creatordashboard.com. But basically with that tool, you have an option where you can also embed thumbnails directly into the homepage of YouTube or suggested videos of YouTube. So you can actually put it right next to other videos and see how your videos compare there. But, you know, doing those types of things also, when you have it zoomed in like that, it makes it so people can identify this easier and faster when they're just glancing around YouTube looking for things to watch.
I didn't catch the snake until you zoomed in.
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah, I was pixel peeping.
Okay, next up. Next
Yep.
up, we've got Just Ask Pam. What's going on, Pam? What you got going on here?
We are going to ask Pam.
She uploads 1 time per week or more, but on YouTube for 1 year or more. She does self-help content. Goal of the channel is to be a full-time creator. She's targeting Christian women over 40. And the question is, can I schedule my live video if I'm not yet monetized? If yes, how please? Yeah, so when you are going through the live stream setup process, I'm not sure what you're using. So if you're using, since you're here, are you using StreamYard for your streams? Or are you using OBS? Or are you just going live directly through YouTube? And are you doing it on a computer or a phone? So if you're going live directly, the reason I ask, if you're going live directly through YouTube, then you can set everything up there. And then when you get to the publishing page for that stream, then you can schedule it directly there. So you can choose to schedule it. And then if you're doing it through something like StreamYard, then in that case, you can choose the date for that inside of StreamYard as you're setting everything up as well. Okay, so you're doing it on a computer. Yeah, so let me know if you're doing it with software or if you're going directly through YouTube. I recommend that you use software. You can go live, you know, of course, directly through YouTube, but I do recommend that you use some type of software, either, you know, Meld or StreamYard. Meld's free, or, you know, StreamYard, or anything else, just so that you can do some of these things a little bit easier because YouTube's process is a little bit clunky. And the other tools, they also have additional features for things like pinning comments on the screen that you see that we do sometimes because we use StreamYard for these. But, you know, you can add, you know, comments on the screen. You can build scenes where you can like switch, you know, the graphics that are on the screen, things like that. So it just gives you a more, I don't know if robust is the right word, but it gives you a more, you know, robust live streaming experience, and gives you, you know, more flexibility with what you can do with the stream instead of going live directly through YouTube. But if you don't want to do any of that stuff, then you can go live directly through YouTube as well.
Out of all the services, I mean, there's free services, OBS, Meld, free, great, little more involved in terms of setting it up, but I think StreamYard is probably the easiest overall.
Oh, hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that StreamYard. So we used to be sponsored by StreamYard before they got purchased, and you know, we're not sponsored anymore, but we still use them just because it's such a great software, and we know what we're doing. Like we can set up the technical stuff too.
Yeah.
But just StreamYard is so easy that it makes sense to use it. The only beef that I have with StreamYard is that there's sync problems.
They have sync
sometimes.
issues. Number two, they've raised the price.
Yeah. Oh, have they raised the price?
They raised the
Oh,
price.
okay, I just have mine auto paying, so I'm not sure like what the
they raised.
what the price
I don't
is.
know if you were grandfathered in or not, but I know they raised the price. I see a lot of people talking about that. I wish they would add. If anybody from StreamYard's watching this, I wish you would add the ability to adjust audio sync. I know you can do that in OBS.
Yeah.
You probably can in Meld. I've never looked at it there. They probably can, but yeah, that's my only real gripe. But in terms of just, Chantel says the price has doubled.
Okay.
But in terms of ease of use across the board, I think StreamYard's the easiest.
Yeah.
But like OBS is amazing.
Yeah.
Meld, amazing. But you know, they come with a bit of a learning curve.
Yeah.
If you have a Mac, I think Ecamm is amazing, but it can be a little bit overwhelming at first if you're not used to setting things up. But if you are more technically inclined, Ecamm is amazing if you have a Mac.
Yeah.
And then you got Riverside too. You got Riverside. Who else you got? Can you stream with who else? Who else is browser based now?
Yeah, really StreamYard is the best solution. So you have EV Mux also.
EV Mux.
Yeah, so with
StreamYard.
EV Mux, that's more like gamer friendly. So if you're a gamer, that might be the better solution. But for any talking head stuff, presentation style stuff, whatever, like StreamYard's still the go-to.
Yeah. Chantel says Talk Studio.
Hey, and really quick here, I'm gonna show this to you really quick. So this is the thing that I was talking about. Basically, you can go right up here in this Chrome extension. So basically, you go right up here, and then you click on this, and you can click on Embed Thumbnail, And then here, you would just click here in order to embed it. You select the thumbnail, and then you say, you know, whatever the title is. I'm just going to put gobbledygook, and I'll put gobbledygook here as well. And then you can choose
That's
the
offensive.
It is. And then you can choose the position that you want it in. You can have it in random, or you can just select the position. So here we'll put it in the third. And then you can also turn on a countdown timer, but then we're going to hit save and apply. And, oh, great. I have to update that because it looks like it didn't work. Way to go, right? Hold on, let me change positions.
And while you're doing that, yes.
Oh, looks like I have an update to make.
Yeah,
So yeah, so don't use that yet.
StreamYard does offer emails giving people discounts. I get those emails too. Sometimes they have 50% off discounts. So that might be something worth watching
There it
for
is.
to get on their email list.
Okay. Oh, that's what it was. Is I pinned it before I refreshed the page.
Who's that guy in the bottom left?
But yeah, you can see right here that it just puts it right in the page. So then you can see like, okay, how does this stand out against everything else, right? So so it does work. So you can go ahead and try this at creatordashboard.com. But basically, you can see here where you can kind of move it around, and then you can see where it goes. But you can use this in suggested, and you can use this on home pages as well. And then it will automatically, if you connect your channel, then it'll automatically also put your channel profile down here, and then you can put your channel name and that kind of stuff. And then that way, you just get a more realistic view of what your thumbnails are going to look like directly on the platform.
So Pam has a follow-up question and says, do you guys leave on the live chat? Does that affect the replays of the video?
So yeah, so I leave on the live chat because like these are more for, like I want people to be able to learn, but also see the conversations that are had because, in addition to the information that we share, like I know like Larry from Home Rapid Repair, he shares a lot of really good tips in the chat. Like sometimes when we're streaming, Shark Scrapper does that. I know Chantel does that. Doug does that. Renee obviously does that. But while we're sharing what we know, there's also, I know, like Tom Nash comes in here sometimes and, Brian G. Johnson, like we have, a lot of creators that come through here that know what they're doing. And because of that, we leave the live chat so that in addition to learning from us, if somebody's following the chat, there's also additional things that they can pick up. So because of that, we leave it here. But if this was something that was different, then in that case, I would turn the live chat off. If it wasn't a, hangout type of stream like we do here, if it was something that is more focused that I'm trying to grow the channel with, stuff like that, unless context is needed from the chat where I'm interacting with the chat a lot during the stream, that sort of thing, then in that case, I would take it out. Okay. So next up on the list here, we have.
Who's up?
Tell you right now, we've got Alan Andrew 6264. Alan Andrew uploads when they have time, but on YouTube for less than 6 months. The type of channel is a video legacy for my children and grandchildren. Goal of the channel is to have fun. And then the question is, just curious if my no editing or very little editing is a good idea for my long form videos. So it doesn't matter. Like if you're doing this to have fun and to make a legacy for the children, then you're really making videos for them. So if you're making videos for them, then in that case, you're just publishing videos for them to watch. So because of that, it like the editing and all that stuff isn't going to, really matter. If you're trying to grow the channel, then, that's going to be a different story. And if you're trying to grow the channel, then in that case, how you're putting your videos together is definitely going to be impactful. So let me pull up what it is that you're doing here. Oh, nice. Yeah, I like your stuff. Okay. So in your case, the type of videos, as long as your communication is clear, these type of videos are fine. One thing that I would do though, is I would work on here. Let me just show this real quick. One thing that I would do is I would work on how you're actually positioning yourself in the frame. If you're trying to grow the channel, connect with people, all that. So I would just kind of and this was happening with another channel earlier today, where when it starts, they're like looking down, at the camera. I would bring it up a bit, so it's more like you're having a conversation with somebody. And then by doing that, it's going to make your content a lot more inviting. And if you're here telling stories and, and all of that, so that people can come in and learn from your experience and your knowledge and all the wisdom that you have, then in that case, I would, just make the camera to where when you're looking at the camera, to where it feels like if you were looking at somebody in real life, that would be how they would be positioned through your eyeballs, right? So unless you're looking at a kid, then, you're not really looking down like in this current shot. You would be looking more, if you're talking to, anybody else, then it would be, more straight on. So because of that, I would lift the camera up a bit, and then that way you are looking at them straight on, and then you can have that, conversation. So yeah, when it comes to like one take videos like this, or just like, a little bit of editing, as long as your storytelling is good, as long as the communication's good, then people are really tolerant of this. And honestly, I know that right now with AI and all of that, it's really tempting to do this type of, this type of thumbnail. But with what it is that you're doing, I would actually experiment with once you get your camera angle, because you can even see here, right? Like you're presenting with these AI thumbnails, you're presenting the camera angle here to where you are in that more conversational plane, right? But then when you click into the video, then it gets, all that changes. So what I would do is I would put yourself in a position in the video like you are in these thumbnails.
Is this a real person or an AI channel?
Yeah, it's a real person once we get into it.
Oh, okay.
See?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but what I would do is I would put yourself. Yeah, this one's better, right? Where you're hanging out here, sharing your stuff here. So that's much better than that other one that we looked at. Yeah. But instead of doing this AI thing, I would actually make your thumbnails look more real. Just take the actual screenshots. If you want to put the text on there, that's fine. But I would do some of this and just see how people respond to it. And I know that typically the rule on YouTube is like, hey, make, thumbnails and stuff like that. But for this type of content, what it is that you're doing here, people are really responding to more natural, authentic, type of content right now. So because of that, I would lean more into that instead of trying to make them look like something that they're not, right?
I want to add something to this. So you have a look here with your thumbnails, but one thing that you could do is you could take the screenshot of you sitting in the environment, right? You just take that screenshot, have it angled in a way where you want the text. Then if you're using AI to make your thumbnails, you could upload that image to AI and tell it what text that you want to put in that area. Just tell AI what to do. So you can still have that same vibe and the same text that goes on your channel, but you have a realistic image. And that authenticity, I think, is going to be something that's going to help you a lot. Because when I looked at this, because there's so much AI all over the platforms now, when I looked at this, my first thought was, is this somebody making AI videos? Because there's a lot of people doing exactly this in all sorts of different niches. Maybe they're older people or grandpas or whatever, and they're giving life advice, and it's all AI. And at a glance, I looked at this and I was like, oh man, is this one of those AI channels or not? So I would lean more into authenticity with the imagery in your thumbnail. And it's something to test. Test it. Try some with that type of imagery and try some with what you have and see if you can get any data on which one works worse.
I mean, it looks real. Maybe it's just really good AI.
They look great. No,
because of the thumbnails, like we're getting there to where it's like, I don't know.
Your thumbnails look great.
Yeah.
I mean, these look fantastic. But my first...
No, I mean, the content.
Right.
Like, just super realistic looking AI.
Yeah, shot from an iPhone.
We're getting
as
there.
Possible.
Yeah.
I think your thumbnails look amazing. Like graphically, there's not a lot to them. They're simple. It's got you in there. But it just, at a glance, just because I work with so much AI, I'm like really fast at spotting this stuff because I'm constantly seeing it. Just my initial thought was, is this AI? Mm-hmm. It's not that it is AI. It's, is this AI? Mm-hmm. And if these thumbnails are not AI, then kudos to you because these look great.
Yeah, you got like a professional photographer and whatnot.
Yeah, maybe you did. Maybe you did. Let us know in the chat. Mm-hmm. What was the name of this? Is this Alan?
Yeah, Alan Andrews.
Yeah, Alan. Who are you using to make your thumbnails, Alan? He says I need to be more authentic with my thumbnails. Yeah. I agree and thank you.
Yeah,
that's your superpower. Listen, man, we talked about AI. The thing that makes us individuals, our authenticity. You just sitting there with your cowboy hat and your rugged look, like, man, like that's awesome.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that's the sort of thing that people gravitate towards. And I would really spend some time. Oh, they make it in YouTube Studio, so YouTube's making them, but they look great.
Yeah.
I would spend some time really leaning into the thing that makes you interesting. And that's just a man sitting there
Yep.
A screen grab off the video.
Yeah, I've got Dry Creek Wrangler School up right now.
Yeah, yeah. Dwayne does an amazing job at this. Dry Creek Wrangler School. He also has great video ideas.
Yeah, great video ideas. He's a great storyteller,
Yeah.
excellent communicator. He's just interesting. So like when you're watching his videos, you can see he's outside in a lot of these. He's in these interesting environments.
Yes.
So so he's got that going on. But you can see here, like in his case, how he is. He's just taking screenshots essentially from his videos.
No text.
Yep, and 334,000 views, 17,000 views, big swings in terms of the response on these. But 66,000, 124,000, 59,000, 70,000, 20,000, 188,000, 45,000, 151, 53, and so on. So people are really responding to this type of thing. So once they click, that's where you have to deliver. Right. So, this type of thumbnail, people, do respond to it. And, with you, like Dee was just saying, because you've got the cowboy hat and all that kind of stuff, real similar, really, to what he's doing here. So I would definitely lean into the more amateur, more natural, authentic vibe like he's doing here.
Trinity Dude says, here you guys are talking about authenticity description, but the description of this video is promoting the best AI thumbnail maker.
Well, it is because, and the reason for that is because different content, requires different stuff.
Right.
Right. Like, for example, in my videos, I don't use just regular screenshots in my thumbnails either. Like I intentionally take the screenshots, and in some cases I'm mixing either my photos with AI or I'm taking the things that I'm using inside of 1 to 10 to where it'll make me, and then based on my prompt or whatever, it'll put a play button in my hand or whatever, and then I'll take that and then I'll drop that into Photoshop, make some modifications to it. So I'm making hybrids of everything, and then some of them I've actually made just 100% with 1 of 10. But the idea is you want to make what's appropriate for the content and what you think is going to be the best fit for the people that you're trying to reach to help them identify your content.
Right. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with AI tools for anything, making thumbnails, and you can still have authenticity to it. It all comes down to the prompting. When you're asked, like you can prompt AI to make your image look like it was shot through an iPhone, right? So you can give it these parameters and these prompts to where it will look exactly how you want it to look. But if you're just like, hey, make a thumbnail that does this, it's usually generating something that doesn't necessarily fit with what you want in all situations. Especially we have Alan here, who looks, he looks awesome. He looks like a cowboy. Like that, for somebody who's doing that, you want to lean into authenticity as much as humanly possible. 'Cause that's the attraction. Like, here's this guy sitting there just talking. Like, I want to listen to what he has to say.
Yeah, Larry mentions here because he does repair videos.
Yeah,
and he says in my niche we get better views often from the boring corporate videos of Lowe's and often Home Depot because they're too polished over there.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. So you got to understand who your audience is and what they're going to react to, and what are you trying to put out into the world, right? You might be better off making AI thumbnails, or you might be better off just taking screen grabs out of your video.
Yep. Next up on the list, we've got The Perspective with Brooklyn at Ada's Baby. What do you think they do, D?
Brooklyn at Ada's Baby? Mm-hmm. Like Ada Boy, but Ada Baby?
Remember that commercial?
Ada Boy.
We Ada Baby, it's a boy.
Oh, what was it?
Yeah, it's collect calls.
Collect calls.
Yeah, you accept a collect call from blah blah. Yeah, you accept a collect call from We Ada Baby, it's a boy.
Yeah, we Ada Baby, it's a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is Joe, We Ada Baby, it's a boy.
Yep. Good.
Okay, that's so good. Yep. So what's this called again?
Brooklyn Ada's Baby, ADEZBABY.
Brooklyn Ada's Baby. Boy, that's a tough one. I don't know. I think they're a craft channel.
Craft channel?
Yep.
Okay, so here it says that they are a women's basketball channel.
Man, I was so close.
Yeah, getting there.
I was so close.
Yeah, close.
No, Karen. Karen asked, do you have to tick AI if you used it for the thumbnail? No.
Unless you're depicting something like crazy. But they see that once they get into the video, though, so it's more about the video content.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So let's look at your thumbnails here. D, what are your thoughts on these thumbnails?
Oh.
They just want feedback on the thumbnails.
They got it wrong. So it's a basketball. This is basketball, right?
Yep, women's basketball.
Let me see some others. I'm kind of confused here. Hold on. Basketball. Okay. I'm not your target audience, but at a glance, some of these thumbnails don't say basketball to me. And you have one over here, like there's like a fighting video, like a boxing video. I would make sure. Okay, let me say this. There's a lot going on with the thumbnails. I would think of how you could simplify them. I would remove things like the perspective that you're putting up there. Think about this. Every single thing that you put in your thumbnail is competing for attention. So you have to think about, what do I want the viewer to see and understand at a glance? So I would think about 1 or 2 images, like a main image and maybe a supporting image, and then your text, if you're putting text on it. So when you're stuffing it full of all of these people and circles and additional text up in the corner, somebody's looking at your thumbnail within a split second. That's too much to take in. It's just easier to scroll by. Like, you see this right up here, destroyed. Here's a woman playing basketball. And note, the basketball is a huge indicator. Like, if you're not paying attention and you're scrolling and you see a woman holding a basketball, you know it's women's basketball. So I would try leaning towards making sure you have a woman holding a basketball in every thumbnail. And removing the clutter. Just focus. Women's basketball, text if you're going to put text. Don't clutter it with anything else.
Yeah, if you look at all these, everything's just, this one's a little bit cluttered, but like
that one, I love.
Yeah, and some of these are from bigger channels, but like like it's just simple.
Yeah,
like there's not a lot to look at. Like in comparison, when you look at yours, there's just stuff all over the place, and this one does have a lot of stuff because they have their full replay, kind of branding on here, the March Madness thing. They have them. But in terms of how this is designed, the focus still goes into the players right here in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
But I think they could make this better by minimizing all of these things. If they need to have them in there, just minimizing those. But this is from March Madness, so so I'm sure they have a strategist working with them on this. But the focus is still going into the players.
When you have an enormous fan base, you can get away with a little bit more. But when you're trying to grow your channel, like, you really need to get things focused.
Yeah, and then here it's just a screenshot, but you can see it's clearly, you see the court, the players, like all that stuff here also.
Yeah. So
like with yours, because there's stuff all over the place, like just keep it simple.
Yep.
All right, keep it simple. Person playing basketball, and then maybe some supportive text next to that, instead of person playing basketball, design element, logos going on here in the background.
Too much.
Player, little star thing wrapping around a player with a little sparkle on it. Text, right here, additional, some type of logo text here in the background, some extra players that you can't make out. Like, instead of having all of that, just a nice clean thumbnail. You can see here, this is a good example of this, is this one here, even though it's still messy, it is a little bit more focused in terms of just not as much going on. And, people did respond, better to this one. You got the basketball in there, like Dee was talking about, which is a win. So it just makes it clear, what's going on there.
Hey, Carlos, how you doing, man?
Now, I think that we're going to do another Vid Summit giveaway here. Dee?
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to do another Vid Summit giveaway here.
Okay.
So, so for this one.
I think we should change the wording to make it something long to make it fun.
Okay, let's do it.
Ready?
Yep.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Oh, my goodness. Deep in the heart of Texas.
But capital letters for each word.
Let's see here. This doesn't change if it's capital or lowercase.
Oh man, you could have made it so much harder.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
so here we go.
If you can't put caps in, you probably don't need to go to Vid Summit. Is what I'm trying to say. Deep in the heart of Texas.
Yeah, we should make it derailed. Actually, that would have been a good one.
Maybe next week.
Yep, maybe next week. Maybe next week.
Shark Scrapper T, you suck. Hey.
Making them work for it.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, they're doing it. Nobody, look, Shark Scrapper, nobody's complaining. Look at these deep in the heart of Texas coming in with capital letters in the appropriate places. That's right. That's how bad they want it.
Yep.
That's right.
Okay, here we go.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
And we'll wait for a couple more. And just so you know, when it comes to Vid Summit, Vid Summit is a conference for content creators. This is where we go every year to network with other content creators and content creators that are doing this for real. We all meet up and then we share what it is that we know with each other. And we also share, what it is that we know with people that are, trying to, do this at a higher level. So if you are somebody that's trying to turn your channel into a, business and you're really trying to turn it into something serious, then make sure that you do, even if you don't win tickets today, make sure that you do go to vidsummit.com to learn more about VidSummit, because this conference is a game changer for a lot of people. So make sure that you do go and get a ticket and that you do come and join us September 29th through October 1st in Dallas, Texas, even if you do not win even if you don't win a ticket.
All right, who's it going to be? How many do we
We're about
have
to find out right here.
23. I think wait till
Yep.
25.
25.
And
Okay, here we
Chantel
go.
says the ticket price is now officially increased to $995. This is
Yep.
going to be a free $995 ticket. You still have to get your hotel
Yep.
and flights or travel. And,
Yep. And also with this, make sure that you can get to Dallas, Texas also. That you can, like Dee was talking about, that you can get there on those dates and that you can also, get your hotel and all that stuff. Okay, so here we go. One more.
Do we
Waiting
have
for
one more? Deep in the heart of
Here
Texas.
we
We're
go.
gonna get
One
more in here.
more, and we are going to pull this
One
right
more.
here. Waiting for that one
There it
more.
is.
Here it is. Let's go.
There it is. Who's it going to be?
And-
I think it's going to be Valentine's Station. That's who I think it's going to be. Oh, hey, Joe.
Picturing Hearts.
Boy, that hung on Joe.
It did.
I
It did
thought
hang
for
on
sure
Joe.
that was going to be Joe.
Yep, it did. That was close.
Yeah.
Yep, Picturing Hearts is our winner here on this one. So Picturing Hearts, what I need you to do is I need you to send me a DM on X and send me your name and your email, and then we will get you sorted from there. And if anything happens where you can't go, or if you put it in here and you're like, yeah, I'm never going to win, but I'm just going to play anyway. If you can't go, let me know that as well so that we can give that ticket away next week on the stream if you can't go. So with all of that, I do want to thank everybody for hanging out. As a reminder, make sure that you do check out vidsummit.com if you did not win the ticket. In addition to that, make sure that you do check out Opus Clip, who's the sponsor of this stream today. This will help you repurpose your content into multiple formats so that you can publish on additional platforms, additional accounts, or publish them directly to your current channel. And yeah, besides that, Dee, great stream.
Great
Yep,
stream.
we have a
even
lot
though
of helpful stuff for you in the video descriptions.
You made it really hard for me today, but it still turned out to be a good stream.
Yep, good.
Yeah, I forgive you.
Yep.
Already. I don't hold grudges.
Good. That was fast. Yeah, we'll see what he says on the ride home.
I've let it go already.
Yep. But also one more thing that we do want to remind you of is we do have a school for YouTubers. So if you are interested in that, we are taking applications for that. We're pretty picky about who we let it in there. Yeah. So if that is something that you are interested in, make sure that you do go to tuberschool.com. We're helping content creators in a bunch of different ways in there. So if you do want that extra support from us, then make sure that you do check out tuberschool.com.
It's a 12-month mentorship program. Yep. Hope to see you there.
So everybody have a great rest of your weekend. We'll be here next Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern, and we'll see you next time.